Commercial vehicles that go the distance for your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
I'm Ben Fletcher. Good afternoon. There's no room for Ollie McBurney in the Scotland World Cup squad despite his 17 goals for promotion chasing Hull this season. That decision by Steve Clarke has split opinion. The former Scotland assistant Mark McGee has told talkSPORT he understands it.
They want a wee bit of a mixture. Lawrence Shankland brings them something else. Ross Stewart does as well. So I think that style as much as anything. You know, I think the boy has done everything he can to be in it, but I think he's missed out really for those reasons.
Saints striker Ross Stewart does make the plane, his first recall in 4 years. This, as Scotland's elder statesman keeps his place between the sticks, is talkSPORT Shabana Hearn.
I mean, quite often, Addy, we discuss Craig Gordon, don't we, when we speak about Scotland, 43-year-old veteran goalkeeper back in the squad, all about the leadership, all about the experience he is back in. Angus Gunn, Liam Kelly in there as well.
You can see the whole Scotland squad up at talksport.com. Next, we're hearing Enzo Maresca has agreed a 3-year contract at City. talkSPORT understands Pep Guardiola, in the meantime, has told his players he's leaving the club. 20 trophies in 10 years, but our very own Simon Jordan reckons the greatest ever Premier League manager remains Sir Alex Ferguson.
But he didn't leave Manchester United in the best condition in terms of the squad. Klopp did. Guardiola does. Maresca's a lucky boy. I think the only reason he gets the job is because he's been in the building before, and the relationship was already set and established.
If City don't beat Bournemouth tonight, Arsenal will be Premier League champions for the first time in 22 years. We'll keep a close eye on proceedings right here on talkSPORT. And with 23 days to go until the World Cup, Netherlands boss Ronald Koeman admits he's concerned Jurrien Timber won't be fit. The Gunners' right back is aiming to be back for the Champions League final. That's another game you can hear live on talkSPORT.
talkSPORT News.
The government says the Married at First Sight UK rape allegations are serious, and a fourth case of meningitis B has been confirmed in Reading. More from Amelia at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Keep spring journeys safe. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com to book your tyres, MOTs and servicing so you can drive away happy every time.
Rain clearing out to the east, but more showers following on in behind. Sunshine for many of us throughout the afternoon.
It's Danny Dyer! Wig, not wig.
It's a nutty canister, either way. I mean, look at the nut on it.
Bob Odenkirk! Saul was great. He was just a breath of fresh air. Amelia Clark! Star Wars versus Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, definitely.
I'm
loyal.
Don't tell me. Alex Hassel!
In season 2, a lot of us get our clothes off.
You do know you did that in season 1?
Exactly, that's true, yeah.
This is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT. Where this afternoon, Andy, what's coming up?
Well, coming up over the next 3 hours, we'll get reaction to Scotland's World Cup squad from Colin Hendry. Ex-Spurs keeper Brad Friedel pops in to preview tonight's trip to the bridge. And former F1 champion Jenson Button looks ahead to this weekend's Canadian Grand Prix.
We'll also go in search of TV formats for Andy's new friend, Caroline Banana, even though she hasn't been in the news since 2013. Be joined in the studio by Pele's World Cup winners medal. What about that?
Yeah.
And Tartan Army foot soldier Ali Ross is here to pass judgment on Bell and Sebastian's unofficial Scotland anthem and to play a few old favourites of yore as well.
Brilliant. There's all this plus Celtic supporting comedian Susie McCabe invades the studio.
Yeah, it's all the rage.
Well, why not? A seasoned City fan reacts to the Pep news, and heavyweight boxer Derek Chisora tells us whether he plans to fight on.
That's all to come.
It does, really.
5 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Andy.
Yes, good afternoon, Paul. Everyone's talking about that decision last night, and it just was another example of what we're seeing. It's just basically this culture of not making a decision by the referee, leaving it to the VAR, who doesn't want to cut off his mate, so nobody makes a decision.
As I said yesterday, it's a vicious
It's
circle.
pathetic. I mean, it's just... You can't have any more apologies from Howard Webb.
No.
Stop apologising. Just go and stand over these people at Stockley Park. And when they say, no, sorry, mate, that's wrong. That is a red card. Tell the referee.
We did mention that once before, that he's there, all the monitors, and he can just go from room to room.
Yeah.
Couldn't he be
Well, he could have a whole thing in front of him, couldn't he?
And
So
I
every
think-
time there was a big decision, he could
I
be
think
there.
at the time we spoke to an ex-Premier League referee, he said, well, that would just be too much and it'd be too intimidating. But I'd like to
We've got to
think
do something.
he's got them all in. He should get all the refs in today. Remember the long Good Friday when Harold Chan gets them all, and they're all basically on the meat hooks in the freezer, hanging upside down. I put money in all your pockets. Get them all in, because they have collected... Last week...
I'll supply the meat hooks.
Yeah. There was no violence involved. They were just hung upside down and by their... If you're listening, Darren, no offence.
No offence.
But they have collectively lost their minds. They don't know what the heck they're doing. He just needs to get them all in and bang their heads together.
It's an absolute disaster. It really is. And it's so funny, though. I mean, we're all the same. All us fans, we all think there's a conspiracy against our clubs. But Matt Scott, the great Arsenal fan and reporter,
Journalist,
exactly. For years he's been going on about, it's a PGMOL conspiracy against Arsenal and Northern refs. Well, that theory's gone out the window, hasn't it? They haven't had a penalty against them or a red card the whole season.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So what a joke.
Even we got some very hardcore one-eyed Arsenal fans in this building, actually in the studio as well. Two of our production team are goons. Even our producer, he thought it was a red card. Our assistant producer, she said, well, never mind. Well, she knows. She said, I'd need to see it back.
You just got to ask yourself, if that was a Burnley player and an Arsenal player, Arteta would have gone
he would have
absolutely
lost his
mad.
mind.
If that was Caicedo, he'd be sent off. If that's
we've all got our own plan. We never be sent off.
Absolutely. I did enjoy though the embarrassing wardrobe malfunction from Capier. That was sensational, wasn't it?
The last time anybody mooned like that, wasn't there? It's Sammy Nelson's testimonial. Wasn't there an infamous moment where there was a 21 bum salute or something? I'm going absolutely.
That's definitely going to be a meme for when you're having a bum day.
Yeah,
I think
he is. Poor fella.
Arteta was teasing him about it at the end. And that one when Fleming clattered into Raya. I thought the late Nat Lofthouse would have said, perfectly good challenge.
Andy Gray said, no problem, Richard. He wouldn't have had a problem.
I thought, because a lot of kids wouldn't know that, so I Googled the 1958 final. It's in there. You can throw. It's ridiculous. He absolutely barges him into the net.
Michael Salisbury wouldn't have seen anything wrong with that.
No. And Howard Webb would have apologised the next day. Tremendous.
No, but he done. I mean, on a serious note, James Madison said last week after he didn't get a penalty shout, and you can argue about whether it was or it wasn't. He just said the referees are petrified to make a decision. He was just speaking truth to power. That's what's going on. We can all see it.
We can all see it.
The biggest problem tonight for the four teams involved in the game. There's going to be a red card tonight because, referees, officials...
That's how they referee. They referee with an agenda.
It's like, it's refereeing by Jesse from the Fast Show. So basically, Howard Webb might as well emerge from that lavatory in the wellies and say, tonight we are mostly refereeing hardcore on penalties and handball.
Absolutely.
And tackles from behind. You just know that there's going to be a red because they've looked at it, and he must have phoned them up today and said, what are you all doing? Why are you just doing nothing? Why are you just sort of standing there not making a decision?
He's so close to it as well. He's right in front of him. You can see it, honestly. It's really... But that's the thing. So you don't make a non-decision. You think, I'll leave it to VAR. But VAR's thinking, I don't want to saw off me mate. OK, so we'll make no decision.
It's not even that. It's that before, at least there was a hierarchy. Now, if you listen, the names of the VARs, most of them I don't think are referees. They're specialist VARs, I think. So it looks as if
very good.
Well, we put this to Graham Scott yesterday, and he said he didn't think Michael Salisbury was that kind of lad, to use football vernacular. But I said, was that a hierarchy? Was that a young, less experienced official than him saying to him, well, look, come and have a look at this because we think it's handball, and him saying, no, I know better?
It's very complicated, though, because Peter Walton, who was a referee for many, many years, in the Times yesterday, he went, the referee's absolutely right on the Mbeumo handball. I'm backing him all the way. Yeah. And Howard Webb comes out and says, no, it was a mistake. It's brilliant, isn't it?
But even Graham Scott said yesterday you could make a case in law for him coming up with that decision. It'd be the wrong one. Yeah. That's the trouble with the law. That's the problem with it.
Should just mention the worst-kept secret in football is
I mean, really. I mean,
I've known this for a long time.
We're not great savers ages. We said to you last Friday after the third or fourth Pep press conference where he just basically messed about, was doing one-liners. It was like he was playing jongleurs. And he's doing the old sign, the West Ham sign before the game, and he's effing and jeffing. And do you know that feeling you have just before you go on holiday? You know, I've only got a couple of days left before I go on holiday. It was so obvious. Actually, it was quite a badly kept secret. We got the nod, didn't we? A good month ago. This has been in the pipeline
and that it
for
was
a while.
Maresca and everything. I think Maresca will do a good job. He's a good manager, Enzo Maresca. But the only thing he won't get is the sort of influence that Pep has.
No.
So the referees will referee City once again. They'll referee City in a different way. I promise you.
Well, you said did Maresca never get any? They didn't cut him any slack when he was at your place.
They certainly didn't.
No,
they sent him off at one time because he sort of sprinted down the line when they, that was fair enough. Actually, I mean,
anyway, we're going to kick off chatting to us. Let's get the cool subject of the day. It's fairly ridiculous. Andy saw a story about Deal or No Deal, and somebody from its past, 2013, for a story. You don't have to Google it, whether you do or not. Yeah. She was a contestant on it, and her name was Caroline Banana.
It's a great name, isn't
it? That's banana, spelt banana.
Yeah, same way.
And you wanted some TV form. I mean, I don't know what Caroline's up to these days, but maybe she did Deal or No Deal. She's done telly. Maybe she'd like to do some more telly.
When the family can't come, it's yes, we have no bananas.
Yeah, that would be it.
You'll get the idea. You'll come up with
Banana Fofana, where she goes over to South Africa. There's a tour there that talks about that goes back to the 2010 World Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, Banana Rama. I've just got the name. I even got. Go on then. Do your worst. Talk sport. We need a bit of levity, don't we?
We do.
After everything that's going on, I certainly do. To take my mind off tonight. Brad Friedel's going to join us to have a chat about that.
I've never seen a game that's more likely to finish 0-0. You can't score.
Please.
We've hardly scored in the league since, I think we've scored one goal in about 8 games. It's absolutely ridiculous.
We're going to be talking a bit of Scotland today because the squad's out, as you've seen. We had a chat with Ollie McBurney. It might have been a day. I don't know if you were in that day or it was Charlie, but we chatted to him.
Yeah, no, I think it was me. Actually.
And he was, you just kind of sensed, this was like January or February, and you sort of sensed he felt that he wasn't in the frame. He said, I've just got to keep doing what I'm doing. And to be fair, since then, he scored even more goals and given himself even more reasons to get in the frame. But it's pretty clear that Steve Clarke doesn't fancy him. So what are you going to do? We'll get the thoughts of big Colin Hendry, former Scotland centre-half, joining us in the studio later, as well as Tartan Army foot soldier Ali Ross, who's ostensibly going to come in and listen to the new unofficial World Cup anthem. It only takes one line by the excellent Bell and Sebastian. So we're going to play a bit of that, and we'll go through a few of the old favourites from the Scotland World Cup song back catalogue as well with Ali. Derek Chizora's popping in. We've got some great World Cup memorabilia to talk about, including Pele's 1970 World Cup winners medal. So that's going to be with us in the studio. We'll find out how that came about. Our own Gabi Agbonlaw's in Istanbul. I'm sure he's in the Blue Mosque now, soaking up the culture. That's if the Blue Mosque is a pub, as well as a mosque.
Yeah.
So
it would be a pub.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be. I'm sorry about that.
Of course it wouldn't.
Listeners, sensibilities. But anyway, it was a pop at Gabby. Anyway,
we know what you mean.
Yeah. When you're an old stop digging.
Absolutely.
And Susie McCabe will invade the studio in the great Celtic tradition later on and have a chat with us about
tremendous
and a bit of Scotland, I'm sure. Jensen Button, Brad Friedel, got some cracking names for you today. To get in touch, talksport.com/H&J, text to 81089, tweet to TSH&J, 03717223344. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with our good friends at the Tool Station Trade Club. You get 10% off all electrical and lighting products when you buy cable and flexes. First stop, Tool Station.
Four-year deal for Xabi Alonso as a manager. Wanted to be the manager because he wants more control. How much control do you think he'll have?
Well, certainly more than his predecessors, Liam Rossini in particular. And obviously, as you mentioned there, Enzo Maresca was very frustrated by the end of his tenure because he had a doctor sat on the bench telling him exactly how many minutes his players could play. I don't see that being repeated under Xabi Alonso. And you're right to highlight the fact that he has been given the title of manager as opposed to head coach. That suggests that the owners are willing to hand over more control, have learned from their mistakes. In fact, speaking to sources at Stamford Bridge, they know this season has been a poor one. They said after they got rid of Liam Rosenior so quickly, having appointed him, that they would do a bit of soul searching. There would be a period of reflection. And they're describing this to me as the next stage in Chelsea's evolution by, instead of appointing a rookie manager like Liam, who was going to learn on the job, who was probably always going to struggle to command the respect of what is quite a difficult dressing room to control, they've now decided to hire someone who's been there, got the T-shirt, not just as a player, but as a manager as well, with that incredible invincible season at Bayer Leverkusen. Even Alonso's record at Real Madrid is not terrible, So I think instantly he'll command the respect of that dressing room because of what he does as a player, because of what he's already achieved in management. They're going to task him with building a culture befitting of a club like Chelsea. And it was quite clear in the statement when they announced him yesterday, they want to be challenging for the top honours, and they see this as the first step in that direction. How much control will he have? Well, certainly he's going to have a bigger input in transfer decisions than the likes of Rosenior and Maresca.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. The model of Chelsea, will they change that as well? Because it doesn't seem to be working, what they're trying to achieve at the moment. And Alonso might have a little bit more of an input into transfers and who they need, because, look, you don't know what sort of system he's going to play. We play three at the back or what. And
It's Danny Dyer! Wig, not wig.
It's a nutty canister, either way. I mean, look at the nut on it.
Bob Odenkirk! Saul was great. He was just a breath of fresh air. Amelia Clark! Star Wars versus Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, definitely.
I'm loyal.
Don't tell Alex Hassel!
In season 2, a lot of us get our clothes off.
You do know you did that in season 1.
Exactly, that's true, yes.
Manchester City are changing manager in the summer. We understand that Pep Guardiola will leave and that Enzo Maresca will take over.
I don't know whether we truly appreciate him right here, right now. Pep's going to go down as probably the best manager this country ever seen.
If I was the owners, the first person I would ask about appointing the next manager would be Pep Guardiola and say, what do you think? Who do you think should take over from you?
He's got to be an outstanding manager to work with these players at such high calibre. But again, how much money has a man spent on players?
Nobody ever mentions Wenger. I know Pep's done this and that, but he's also done it with 115 charges.
He's an absolute legend. He has given every single Man City fan, including me, because I was going in the 70s, every single dream we thought we would want.
Yeah. Pep,
absolutely brilliant. I mean, there's no question about that.
But this is it, his last couple of games in charge.
But just before, just to add to that point that Stuart made about sort of Pep being involved with him, just before Maresca left Chelsea, Pep publicly said what a great coach he was, one of the best in the league, one of the best in the world. Very interesting. So that was a sort of, catalyst for
succession. I can't believe he's not been involved in succession planning. They wouldn't have asked him.
Right, he has.
Who he thinks is the right man to take over. Anyway, let's talk about that now with the former editor of the Manchester City fanzine Blueprint. He's a journalist and author, and he was in the studio recently as he's part of the Ex-Loaded boys putting together the excellent Exploded podcast. It is Bill Burrows. Good afternoon, Bill.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, thanks, Bill.
Yeah, not too bad, thanks, Bill. I'm interested to get your take on the way this has been managed, because you've lost the sort of control of the narrative a bit, really. I mean, there's been no official word from the club yet. Pep's been sort of a bit coy about it, saying I've still got 1 year, but you did sense that was probably it. I mean, could it have been managed better, this?
Well, it does sound like there's been a kind of leak, but also you never know with Pep whether it's like 4D chess, just before the game. So Arsenal relax a little bit and assume that it's all in the bag, and then bang. I think it probably could have been handled a little bit better. But just into those comments before I came on, there will be a succession plan. And, delusional United and Liverpool fans, what happened at United and Liverpool and Arsenal after Wenger, very different things. Because United, I think I'm right in saying, have only won the league under 3 different managers in the whole history. And we've won league each last 3 managers. So it's not like we have to have this big Busby-Ferguson type dynasty with the manager being the forefront of it to try and control what's happening actually at the club. As long as the people at the top above Pep are in place, then I think that's fine. The succession, Pep was due to come before Pellegrini arrived, and he managed that perfectly well. He won a title. So I don't think there's anything to worry about. But there is, and with me, there's a bit of it's a trauma response from all the years when City had like 3 managers a week. like
Peter Swales. The only thing you'd say about that, I hear what you're saying, but the league is much tougher. When Pellegrini was in charge, it was an easier league. There were less good teams. Now you've got every season you've got 10 teams that are really could finish anywhere from second to to 10.
You just said it, Andy. From second to where? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
When you're the top, like United fans are going up. We finished 3rd. I've not looked down that far for years. Not in the slightest bit interested. This really is. When United changes the manager, we all get a bit depressed because we think, oh God, they should have kept him a bit longer. They should have kept him a bit longer. It's happened for the last 9 managers. Now they're all getting giddy because they think Pep's got it's all going to collapse like a house of cards. It won't. I can assure you. My boys have never known. They're 18 and 21. Are absolutely destroyed, as you can imagine. When I tell them about Steve Coppell and 33 days and Alan Ball, and it's perspective, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. There is going to be a period of transition. I take what you mean. The hierarchy's still there and they operate very well, but to lose a guy of that magnitude, and like you watch Maresca ball, it wasn't quite as entertaining as Pep in Paul
It's very much possession based, but to be fair to Maresca, when he had all his players, when it was free to do that, like in the final against PSG, Chelsea played some lovely football under him.
You think it could be pretty seamless, and
I think he's a very, very good manager.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't really even want to leave Chelsea, but Chelsea didn't want to look at a contract for him until the end of the season. City were interested. They obviously rate him. I think he could potentially be one of the great managers.
Have you been doing a bit of research on him, Bill, since the news broke?
Yeah, I think that he told the Chelsea hierarchy that City had approached him to use as a bit of leverage around the New Year period.
Yeah, that's our understanding too.
Yeah, which is quite clever. Not great from City's perspective because you want to keep it all in house, but that's the way these things are done, And we want to keep it more Anfield boot room, 70s and 80s, where there was a seamless transition from one to the other to the other to the other. No one's going to replace Shankly. Well, here's Bob Paisley. Just keep that the key people making decisions in there. Where, as at other clubs, you get takeovers, change at the top, and the shambles at Old Trafford. Of course.
Would you say though, Bill? Would you say the force of personality of the manager affects the decisions you get from the referees? Because I honestly believe it does. I think when a manager is very strong and very powerful.
Well, it did under Sir Alex Ferguson. I think,
and I don't think you'll get that with Maresca. That's I think the prime difference. I mean, the referees will never admit this in a million years.
I don't think we've had it with Pep, Andy. To be honest with you.
Really?
I think United and Liverpool still getting those. Have you seen recently? They're still getting. Arsenal got one last night. He should have been sent off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The red cartel clubs will always get the benefit. Always. We've not had that with Pep really. He might be a bit naughty and chat to other players as they're coming off the pitch and do a bit of mind games here and there. But I think he's been a benign influence.
So have you given up on the title this season, Bill? What are your expectations?
What do you think? Of course I haven't. As I've been telling people, this is the bit when Arsenal really do start to bottle it. There was one game.
They win.
Now, if we win tonight, if we don't win tonight, then we can all put it down to Pep going, can't we? But if we do win tonight, it's down to the last game. And you've seen City before, the QPR game, the Aguero goal, the Villa game when Gundogan came on. that we live for those kind of moments. So bring it on, Arsenal.
But Palace were the final to play the following week. I mean,
yeah,
Arsenal. I mean, you still think they've got a choke in them, Arsenal, on that basis?
I think Palace will be up for this.
Yeah, they'll pick a strong team because it's no point going into a final. You don't want to go into a final on poor form. He'll pick a full proper team, guaranteed.
I think so.
Yeah, I think he will.
Okay, well, you've got to keep the faith, Phil.
Well, you'll keep the faith. Do you think Tottenham are going down, Paul?
I hope not, Bill.
No, I think you've escaped.
I certainly hope not. We need Chelsea to do us a favour, and there is a great bond between the two clubs.
Of course,
there's quite a lot of love. I think we are twinned with Chelsea, aren't we?
Oh yeah, very much.
Yeah. So nice one, Bill. Good to talk to you.
Thanks, guys.
All the best. Thanks very much.
Cheers.
There's former editor of Blueprint magazine, and the fanzine there, and a journalist and author, and same member of the team bringing you Exploded, the loaded podcast.
They've been so dominant this year. Other fans are bound to seize on the hope that maybe they won't be quite as good. But
I think it might be a draw tonight. And then, as Bill says, you probably can say they've played the team. I think it could be 2. And I'm not our game. I'm talking about Bournemouth.
Oh yeah,
1 each, 2 each, maybe 2 each, and that is probably that, isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
All round Kai Havertz's house for a party.
Look, as we said yesterday, once it's done, if Arsenal win the title, congratulations to Arsenal.
Absolutely deserve to win it on that basis.
They've got a great defence. It's quite intriguing, actually. The best attack in Europe against the best defence in Europe, that will be the final. It's such a shame it's not going to be on
terrestrial telly,
or free-to-air TV.
So, the latest episode of the talkSPORT Daily podcast out now. Angelina Kelly and Alex Crook, they're going to react to Arsenal's 1-0 win over Burnley. The news that Pep is set to leave City with Maresca replacing him. That's available wherever you get your podcasts. Ali Ross joins us in the studio next. And we'll play a few old classic Scotland World Cup songs, play the latest one from Bell and Sebastian, and get his take as a Tartan Army regular man heading out to the States for the World Cup on the squad that was announced earlier on today.
Successive defeats for West Ham. Spurs 1-2, drew 1 in their last 3. Spurs need just a point from the final 2 games to secure survival. So, Martin, would it be fairly unforgivable for Spurs not to survive from here?
Oh, yeah. Look, they're in the boss seat now. De Zerbe's come in and put together some really good results, Jim. Look, I said way back, we were both sat here, one thing that we may disagree now, someone likes to disagree with me, but one thing we did agree on was that West Ham, their fixtures looked much more difficult, and if Spurs could wake up, we all knew, didn't we? I mean, at one stage, it was just because it's Spurs, but this new manager's come in and made a change. So I see Spurs now as being pretty comfortable. West Ham have shot themselves in the foot yesterday because of their performance.
Yeah. I mean, I've been pretty consistent that West Ham would get relegated, primarily because there was always this powerhouse in the back of your mind that you can't countenance Spurs being relegated. So I imagine Spurs' avoiding relegation will be as certain as Arsenal winning the league now in Martin's mind, because we're able to make those observations. But the fact of the matter is that West Ham, and Martin's right, I was under the impression that he'd had a lot less games. I don't know how many league games he has, but he's been in charge of Nuno Espirito Santo. He's been in charge of West Ham for 36 games. And despite the fact, I looked at their statistics yesterday before the game. In the last 15 games, they've taken 22 points. They're taking a point and a half a game. If they'd had that all season, they'd be miles away from this situation. But prior to that, I think he took some time to get into his stride.
Too long. Too long.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, I don't know how many games they had before he took in. I'll have a look in a second. But they were in chaos when he came there. They were in a mess when they came there. So could he have got them out quicker? Possibly. But you look at that side yesterday, and it's not really... Of the two teams between Tottenham and West Ham, the team that's been in better form, had more resilience, and more about them has been West Ham. Even when they got beat 3-0 by Brentford, there are 2 clear penalties that have subsequently been revealed as being penalties that should have been given to them. They hit the post twice and crossbar twice, so they were in that game. But that was the West Ham that we saw yesterday that's been at the beginning of the season that's got them in this mess, because they were poor across the board.
The Scotland World Cup squad is out. We're told the forward line is the strongest it's been in quite a while. Southampton's Ross Stewart makes the plane. No room, though, for Hull City's Ollie McBurney. Here's talkSPORT's Shabana Hearn.
I don't know if he could have done any more at Hull City this season. 5 goals in his last 10 games, 17 this season. Ross Stewart comes in, which I think a lot of people are keen on. That's a good season for him. George Hurst comes in as well.
43-year-old goalkeeper Craig Gordon keeps his place. Check out the full squad at talksport.com. Elsewhere, Pep Guardiola will leave Man City as the best manager of all time. That's the view of Neil Warnock, who says that Pep's influence is felt even at Torquay down in National League South.
Torquay try and play like Man City. He's brought things in. I mean, you know, we haven't got the players that Man City have got, but even the smaller clubs are trying to play the way his philosophy and everything.
talkSPORT understands Pep has now told his players he's leaving. This as Enzo Maresca is said to have already agreed a 3-year deal to replace him. Simon Jordan says Maresca's a lucky man because of the condition Pep will leave the club in.
I think this season is transition, and I think he leaves Manchester City for the next incumbent an opportunity to build from it in the same way that Klopp did. Unlike Alex Ferguson, with due respect, despite the fact that Ferguson was a brilliant manager and was probably in the annals of Premier League probably the greatest manager.
Get all the latest at talksport.com.
That is Bell and Sebastian, who have done an unofficial Scotland World Cup anthem. It only takes one line. That was live at the Albert Hall. I don't think they're going to go into the studio and do it next, but we thought we would peruse some of the old Scotland World Cup songs, get the thoughts.
Don't bring Peru into it.
Yeah.
Let it go, Paul.
Yeah. Don't hate me. Hatey. Don't yeah. Get the idea of that. Ali Ross has joined us off to the World Cup with the Tartan Army. Good to see you, Ali.
Lovely to see you as well. Exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And now the squad's out as well. It was funny. There was a story last week about the oldest player at this World Cup was going to be Sebastian Soria, the Qatar forward, who's 42.
Really?
At which point, Craig Gordon said, "Hold my tenants," didn't he? It's great. I mean, the oldest player ever in a World Cup was 45, was a goalkeeper. So, I mean, unless he ages 2 years, which is quite possible with Scotland at a World Cup, he's not going to be he's going to be the oldest ever.
Someone did say, one of our WhatsApp groups said, between them, our 3 goalkeepers have got 4 appearances this entire season.
Really?
Which isn't exactly what you want to. That's not been verified by BBC yet.
So
there are very obvious strengths and weaknesses in the squad.
Well, when you looked at the squad this morning, Ali, were you thinking, "Oh, really? I would have loved to have seen him go"? Are there a notable absence?
Harvey
Barnes.
Yeah.
Elliot Anderson. What happened to him?
Yeah.
I was thrilled to see Ross Stewart in there.
Yeah.
He's really into it, apparently. But you're also very sad at the same time for Tommy Conway, who's one of those rare players that would turn up as a fan if he wasn't picked for the team.
Yeah.
So it's heartbreaking for him. Perhaps surprised Lennon Miller isn't there.
Right.
Haiti have apparently got 9 strikers and we've picked 10 defenders. So look out for that game on June the 14th.
Yeah. There's been a lot of talk about Ollie McBurney. As we said, we spoke to him earlier in the year, and you did kind of sense he wasn't going to get the nod.
Clark has his favourites and he sticks by them, and that's possibly been the making of that squad.
Yeah, I mean, look, for whatever reason, if he doesn't fancy him, only he'll know why, but you have to trust him. You know, he's,
you do.
And it's not like, you know, because, I mean, Stewart's sort of come out of the wilderness, and that would have been him. He hasn't played for Scotland for a while.
4 years, I think that is, but he's had a hell of a run in. He's such bad luck with injury as well, but I believe the first ex-Albion Rovers player ever to play at the World Cup for Scotland, although Tommy Coyne played for Ireland.
Oh, well, that's a good...
I've been looking at a lot.
Yeah.
Our own Shabana Hearn is off to cover the Scotland team for us.
Yeah.
And Paul was winding her up and saying they'll probably lose to Haiti and beat Brazil.
That's what you do. I think
Haiti beat Brazil.
I think it's kind of sense. You'll lose to Haiti, you'll beat Brazil.
Yeah, that Brazil squad, it's not all that, is
No,
it?
exactly. It looks very beatable.
Famous last words, but I look at our midfield and theirs, and I'd take ours over there.
Yeah.
I'm not.
They're good players.
I agree with you.
It's an old squad as well. And they brought back Neymar. And
I never got Neymar. I think he's the most overrated footballer in the world. I mean, I've watched him play loads of times. I've only seen him play once, and that was it for PSG against Barcelona. The rest of the time, I never understand it. I never think what people see in him. He always makes it about himself. He's always injured. You know, I don't know.
You've also got Finlay Curtis, who's got in there as well.
I haven't seen too much of him, but apparently he's been pulling up trees at Kilmarnock.
Yes.
That's good enough for me, Paul.
That'll do.
Not literally, of course. You've got to get an asbo. It's the last thing you need. Going around the parks of Kilmarnock with a shovel. Not a great idea on an X.
But Shaban was worried about being away from her kids for too long, and of course we put her right on that.
Yeah. They won't even know you're gone, Shaban.
You don't know that.
I'm just leaving my jacket.
Is Mummy back already? I thought she'd gone to America. No, of course not.
It's very unfair.
Of course not. We'll get right behind the lads when they get there.
Of course.
So, as we said,
they never get behind us. Let's be honest.
No, they want us. But we rise up. We rise above that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're scrappy do. Come on, you're holding
us. So, what did you make of Bell and Sebastian's It Only Takes One Lion? Did you quite like it? Is it sing-along enough? It's quite hard to tell maybe from the live version.
We have a very mixed record in tournament pop songs.
Yeah.
I'd possibly need to see a wee bit more. They've always struck me as very earnest, Bell and Sebastian.
Yeah.
And perhaps what you need is more of the Andy Cameron spirit for it to
Well, funny you should say that, because we are going to read, if you don't know the kind of Scotland World Cup song oeuvre, then let's run some past you. This was the unofficial song of 1978. This is Andy Cameron, a great old Scottish entertainer, with Ali's Tartan Army. Let's bring you a bit of this. Yeah, not sure.
Come on, douze point for that.
Yeah.
I heard your feet tapping away there.
It was great.
It is a great song. Is that still sung by the Tartan Army on tour? I take it is.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's
Stevie's Army now, isn't it?
There's only about 3 songs on that playlist. That's one of them.
That's Scotland's Eurovision entry for next year.
I think it could be.
Lang by the Bay City Rollers is one of those ones with never actually a World Cup tune.
No.
It might as well have been.
Have they changed the lyrics to it or not? Do they still sing it in the Bay City Rollers version? So there's no new...
No, there's no...
That's great. That's what I like about Scotland, because yes, sir, I can boogie. They don't change the lyrics.
No, it's perfect as it is. So why mess with the winning formula?
Yeah. So there was another official song that year. It was Rod Stewart. Sir Rod. Oh, Leo. Here it is.
Becky's a big fan of Rod Stewart. She couldn't wait to get that one in.
Does that one get sung by the Tartan Army?
Never. No. Bless Rod's heart. He's put in the miles, that guy.
He has, yeah. He has. He'll be out for
that. Never hear a word of criticism against him.
Oh, no. He's a big talkSPORT listener, and
he'll be out for the games.
He got concerts at the same time, dude.
He's timed it beautifully, hasn't he?
Just throw a sickie, Rod. Come on, you know what you want to be.
Oh, really? So what? When the games are on, he's got to be.
I'm not sure about that.
Not when the actual games. I'm probably around.
I think he's got gigs around that time.
He'll have a telly next to the monitor.
Oh,
if that's 1982, we had.
Now you're talking.
We had B.A. Robinson and was it John Gordon Sinclair?
John Gordon Sinclair
from Gregory's Girl fame. We Have a Dream. We have a little bit of that. Can we? I've got
friends who want this in their fleet.
It's in the pub style, isn't it? A bit, really, that one.
Yeah.
Martin,
You see those
Martin
arms.
Luther kilt.
Yeah. That's good. I like that. You've been working on that.
I just
haven't you?
thought about it.
Oh, that's good. That's great. Brilliant. Is that a particular favourite?
That is a favourite, yeah.
It's quite stirring.
That gets played before games at Hampden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it gets everyone going.
Has he been on the pitch to sing it in that style subsequently? I'll tell you, he must have been over the years when they got him out.
He has, yeah.
And we were working on the Fantasy World Cup, Skinner and Badil in this, and we had Delamitri on, didn't we?
Yeah.
And but this was "Don't Come Home Too Soon."
This was a good song.
It's asking for trouble.
It is, isn't it? It's really, yeah. So let's have a little bit of that, shall we?
So go then out into history and show them how easy it can be.
They did come home quite soon, didn't they?
It was tempting fate, really.
I have booked a flight back on June 25th, just in case.
That's a kind of reverse psychology thing. So you've got one, but
I have a flight home, the day after.
We have a flight.
No, but, you know, the thing is, this World Cup, you've got to be pretty poor not to get to the next, get out of the group.
Yeah.
But we've got that in us.
It's great. I mean, because the Haiti game, what time's it? Over here, it kicks
It's on
off.
at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
here.
but it's bank holiday in Scotland the day after, isn't it? Is that right? Is it a bank holiday on the Monday?
Yeah, it will be, whether they like it or not.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah. So everybody can recover and say, how was that? That was offside, that goal. How did we lose one? So it's Costa Rica all over again.
I was at that game.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Decided just to go for the one game to Italia 90. So I thought, all right, go to Costa Rica. We'll put 3 or 4 past them.
Yeah. We got Big Colin coming in later on, Colin Hendry, to have a chat with us. One of the boys of 98. And that was I mean, again, you turned up in some big games then, didn't you? That's often the Scotland way. It's just getting 3 good performances.
They played really well against Brazil.
Yeah.
But then I always remember that game. I think we were 2-1 down, and just seeing the substitute board goes up, and the French guy goes, Dush McKinley. All right, it's not quite there.
So you're going to be in Boston and Miami. You're going to be travelling around.
We've got 8 days in Boston, and then an internal flight down to Miami for 5 days.
Right.
The cities couldn't have fallen.
Oh yes, wonderful, isn't it? Yeah.
It's superb.
It's great. You'll have a great time. You'll have a sensation.
I've never been to Boston, but everyone
it's
wonderful things.
This is one of the most together squads that have ever gone.
Yeah, and you've got some really good players.
He's very good at that. People say he sticks by the same players all the time. I remember going to Moscow for the game, and I was looking back at that team that played that night, and it's just been gutted. It was complete. Clark very quickly saw the bad apples and who he wanted in and who was a good squad man, and has stuck by them. And there should be statues raised to the guy, because he's the most successful Scotland manager ever, and I don't think he gets nearly enough credit for what he's done for the country.
I take they'll be packing plenty of factor 50 for the boys, I would imagine.
This is Scotland, not Brazil.
Yeah.
They're going to struggle in that heat.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that will be interesting. It'd be lovely to talk to you while you're over there.
Oh, I'd love that. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we can, I mean, we're going to be a bit earlier during the World Cup, between 10 and 1. Actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but you'll be asleep.
East Coast.
You can leave us voice.
I'm sure you get up. I'm sure you'll be getting up early in the
morning.
morning.
Give us a ring. See if you get a reply.
To go for a run around Boston Common. So about 7 o'clock in the morning. If not, we will catch up at some point. But have a great time.
Love that. Thanks so much.
Good luck if we don't see you before. And is the column's out this Friday, is it, in the Sun?
Yeah, I should be taking a look at Eurovision and Rivals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to your comments on Britain's Got Talent.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And Andy was not happy on Saturday. He had other reasons not to be happy on Saturday, but it was Britain's Got Talent really.
I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, really got to him. So, Ali's excellent column every Friday in the Sun. It'll take a bit of a hiatus, obviously, when you're out in the States.
It will.
Yeah.
They've said I can't stay out there if,
okay,
that thing that we needn't mention happens.
Yeah, okay, will do.
Yeah.
You asked for another song from 1974, Yabba Dabba Doo.
We support the boys in blue because it's easy, easy.
And this is for the 74 squad, which had, was a stellar squad. You
Oh.
go through the names, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, we could have won that tournament.
Yeah.
The first team.
Don't laugh.
No, it was a very good team. They're great. They're not winning it. I mean, blimey, there's some good teams in
We
that.
were the only unbeaten team at that World Cup, so technically we did win it, Andy
Yeah.
Jacobs.
If you look at the records, I think you're fine.
Yeah.
I'm not saying.
Let's have a bit of yabba dabba do then from 74. Ali, all the best. Have a great time. Thank you for joining
Take
us.
care.
We had this conversation in the studio, and your bags of energy, and whilst you might be a little bit drained now, you'll replenish your tank, and there's plenty left in you. Do you think you merit the opportunity? Do you think Celtic should be offering you this job? I know it's a difficult question for you to answer,
No.
but come on,
Right.
you've gone in there, you've fixed their problems, and you've
right.
steadied the ship, and you've won the league for them in a season where it's been a disaster for them.
Do I think that Celtic should offer me? Do
Do you think you merit it?
Do I feel I've merited? Of course I have.
Did you? I know, but I'm trying to move you. I'm trying to move you from the diplomatic fence-sitting position that you want to take. Did you chase Hearts down, Martin, or did they lose their nerve and blink?
No, I don't think they lost their nerve and blinked at all. Absolutely not. What they've done over there has been fantastic. What the manager has done has been terrific, absolutely terrific. And last night he was voted Manager of the Year, quite rightly so. It was a really great effort. What we have here, I think, sometimes, Simon, in your disparagement of the league, is that we actually have some really, really fine managers, young managers who are very, very good. I'm working with some brilliant coaches who are seriously who are just terrific, and I do learn an awful lot from it. Now, I understand the reason of this disparagement is because there is really no money.
Which, by the way, you joined in as well before you went back there.
No, joined in what way?
In terms of making observations about the quality of the teams in the league and the quality of Rangers. So pack your nonsense in.
No, absolutely. I'm saying this, but what has happened? Sometimes when you're working at the coalface, as you often do, make real great judgments from about 14 million miles away, and
I had you next to me to be able to support those judgments before you went back to Celtic. So pack it in. So don't you dare be a hypocrite.
And then I stepped into the coalface and realized that both of us were talking bunkum.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Not wig.
It's a nutty canister, either way. I mean, look at the nut on it.
Bob Odenkirk! Saul was great. He was just a breath of fresh air. Amelia Clark! Star Wars versus Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, definitely.
I'm
loyal.
Don't tell Alex Hassel!
In season 2, a lot of us get our clothes off.
You do know you did that in season 1.
Exactly, that's true, yes.
Paddy's Pick on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. Can you guess who's made the headlines this week? 18 plus, be gamble aware, don't all.
Just very quickly, in light of our conversation just now with Ali Ross, our old mate Crackers has been in touch. He said Steve Archibald, the only footballer to appear twice on the same episode of Top of the Pops in 1982, with the Scotland World Cup song and the Tottenham FA Cup song.
That's good knowledge.
That's it. Good. Thank you, Crackers, for that little bit of triv for the pub later on.
Yeah.
So it's time now for this week's Paddy's Pick.
Good.
In association with our official betting partner, Paddy Power. In Paddy's Pick, I'm asking Andy to identify a mystery sporting personality who's Paddy's Pick of the week. Going to get 5 clues to work out who it is. We'll start with £50 in the pot. For every clue used up without a correct answer, £10 gets cruelly snatched away. But Paddy's Pick is all for charity, so we're going to give you some clues along the way if we can. We're raising funds for Duchenne UK. So, Andy, are you ready?
I am ready.
As always, I've not looked at the second page. I don't know what you're up against until now. Oh, yeah. This week's pick is a midfielder who joined an exclusive club last weekend.
Midfielder who joined an exclusive club last week.
Even marked it on the pitch. He's had quite a good end to the season with a nice award. He's in midfield.
Midfielder. God, I can't think. No, you have to give me another clue. I just can't get it from that. Sorry.
Okay, I'm not sure this second one's going to do you unless you've got a good knowledge of Serie B football. He started his career with Novara in Serie B, but soon made a move to Udinese in 2013 before going to Sampdoria. But that would make you think he's Italian, which he isn't.
Okay.
He's a midfielder. He plays in the Premier League. He's had a great season. He's been quite instrumental.
Bruno Fernandes.
That's it, Bruno Fernandes. That's
good.
the boy.
Well done. Yes.
Because I didn't want to lose another tenner for you.
No, that's good.
Clue number 3 for 30 quid would have been at Sporting CP. He won back-to-back titles. And you would have got it then, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Clue number 4 was his name.
Yes. Yeah. We would have got the number. So that would have been winning titles with Sporting. He was in the Team of the Year and Player of the Year. And he scored 33 goals in 18-19 all competitions. Moved to Manchester United, scored 70 goals in 228 appearances. It was Bruno Fernandes who got his 20th assist of the season, joining Kevin De Bruyne and Thierry Henry, the all-time leaderboard. It's interesting. I vote for in the Football Writers Player of the Year. I actually went for Declan Rice. It was tight. I just decided in there it was Declan Rice and Bruno Fernandes, and I weighed it up, and I went for Declan Rice simply because he's played twice as many games and has been pretty instrumental in the team.
Absolutely.
Probably likely to win the title.
Very, very key.
But there was very little in it. But there would seem to be more argument about it this year. But maybe that's the nature of social media.
Matilda in the Star wouldn't have agreed with you.
Oh, okay.
She says Bruno's secret is ball hogging. And the only reason Bruno Fernandes is top of the assists is because he never lets anyone have the ball. He will be driving the team coach next, says Matilda. Honestly, these people are amazing.
You're never pleased, are they?
Really.
So anyway,
Brilliant.
40 quid for Duchenne UK this week. Thanks to our friends at Paddy Power, official H&J betting partner, 18 plus only. BeGambleAware.org.
Paddy's Pick on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. Can you guess who's made the headlines this week? 18 plus, be gamble aware, don't all.
Andy was quite keen on some TV formats for Caroline Banana.
Oh, yeah. What do you got?
New friend of his. Banana Republic, says Michael in Durham, of course. Travelogue, where she visits countries with democratically elected governments.
Very good.
That sounds quite an interesting show. Banana Rama would be Caroline goes in to investigate journalism, it says. Okay, I don't know about that one. Matthew in St. Neots. Banana Republic, we followed that. We had that one again. No, that one, yeah, that one, yeah. What else we got? Bananas in Pyjamas. Caroline travels Britain trying out the best pyjamas on sale. That's like a strand in
the late Winciette Willis.
That's a strand in a Martin Lewis. That's not a separate show, is it?
No.
Would you sit down? I ask you, Ryan. Would you sit down for half an hour and watch Caroline travel trying on the best pyjamas in the country?
You certainly would.
You probably wouldn't, would you? Yeah.
No. I don't know about you, but there were 2 more photos of politicians. It was Andy Burnham and Wes.
It's a thing, isn't it? Yeah,
running.
They go out running.
Honestly. If I wanted a runner in power, I'd have voted for Mo Farah.
Yeah.
What's wrong with these people? Stop running.
Well, it's always been a thing. I think the Telegraph done a piece about it today.
Nonsense. Oh, yes, look at me. All politicians do it. I'm virile. I'm fit. Look at me. I'm taking it. Oh, do it.
Well, it was also a way that if you're suddenly on the doorstep, then, you know, there's a fair few questions to answer. But if you're able to run off, and it's so carefully curated, isn't it?
Oh,
Are you telling me Andy Burnham just slung on that vintage Everton shirt?
No.
I mean, I reckon he had a good 10, 15 minutes choosing which vintage to wear, don't you?
Oh, no,
so you get a lot of that going on. We had Wes Streeting. He was in his Berghaus running top today, and they've all come up with their different outfits. In the race, here it is. Why politicians are so desperate as seen. Ed Cummings had written it for the Telegraph. The first ever pictures was a bloke called Ernest Marples, 1971.
I remember him.
Do you remember Ernest Marples?
The transport minister, I think.
Yeah. Tony Blair was a jogger. David Cameron, apparently. We've got pictures of him.
But looking at David,
Liz Truss, I don't remember any jog. I mean, she wasn't there long enough, was she? I'll take it wasn't a marathon. It was a 5K, wasn't it?
It was very much. Yeah,
definitely. Anyway,
John in Stafford has written to the Sun with honestly, I wish I'd thought of this idea.
Yeah.
Why bother spending a fortune on FIFA's vastly overpriced tickets to watch World Cup matches?
Yeah.
It's on TV. No travel or hotel bills either. No, but it's not the same thing, is it? Fool.
Yes.
Honestly, these people.
It's Chelsea Flower Show. David Beckham was there yesterday.
Oh, yeah, no, I watched a bit of
he's
it
had
last night.
He's had a rose named after him.
He has,
That's
yeah.
nice. And gnomes are big this year. They've had celebrities painting gnomes. You've got to guess which celebrity. Footballing gnomes, that was a thing. You could buy. There was one in the. Somebody bought me one from the.
Was it It's Coming Gnome?
It's Coming Gnome.
Yeah.
Somebody bought me one from the Spurs shop,
Oh,
which
really?
I put in the garden, and I think it was a Christmas present, and I called it Jurgen.
Okay.
And I went to most of the games in the Cup run in 1994 for Spurs. And before I'd set off for the game, I'd give the head of Jurgen a little rub.
Fabian Barthez.
And then I went up to Anfield, and somehow we're under the cosh, but Jurgen Klinsmann scored in the dying seconds to beat Liverpool 2-1, taking us to a semi-final. And I went out the morning of the semi-final for a set off to Leeds. Game was at Ellen Road. Just gave his little head a rub.
Oh, yeah.
Got back, having lost 4-1 after a terrible day's travelling.
Was that the end of it?
Took a hammer to him. Smashed him to bits.
Absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
You couldn't be a day, couldn't go by without a letter from Brian Linford.
Of course not, no.
Once again, writing about sport, so it's quite relevant. He says, I'm sure all, for no reason whatsoever.
He shouts a bit, yeah.
I'm sure all our DS texters will agree with Laura Hilvern, brackets 33, former partner of Trossard, brackets 31.
Yes.
The Arsenal striker now taking up and turning to tennis. If you have a passion for something, you'll create the talent. Over the years, many texters have impressively penned their thoughts. Impressively.
Ah.
It's quite a hard thing to say. Have impressively penned their thoughts. And long may it last too. Impressive, says Brian. What a mad... That's got nothing to do with
Brian's AI, isn't he? I think he's just... I'm not even sure he exists.
AI Linford.
AI Linford. What happened from the pavilion end? Anyway, any more of your Caroline Banana ideas?
Yeah.
Family Feud, Banana Split, says Billy. I think they're struggling here.
That bloke in the paper that's Thomas Tuchel lookalike.
Oh, yeah.
We both had the same reaction.
Yeah, it's just a thin bloke who hasn't shaved for a week.
Absolutely.
I mean, he says people keep coming up to me saying, "Oh, you Thomas Tuchel?" Are they mad? I mean, really?
Honestly, definitely
not. Check it out in the paper. I just, honestly, I would pass him in the street and Thomas Tuchel will be the last thing on my mind.
Yeah, apparently he's signed up with a lookalike agency. We probably know who that is.
We have a pal who we thought looked like Jurgen Klopp. And we sent his picture to one of the top lookalike agencies, and they were very sniffy about it.
They said, he doesn't look anything like him.
And then we looked down their list, and I said, well, have you seen your Edward the Seventh?
Yeah.
Garbage. Just a bloke with a beard. That's not Henry VIII. We went through the card, didn't we? Call that Winston Churchill. They got very sniffy about his...
They did. They weren't happy.
Jurgen. Anyway, we move on. Talksport.com, text 1889, tweet TSH and J 03717223344. Our own Gabag Bonlaws headed to Istanbul for tomorrow night's big game between Villa and Freiburg. And we're going to catch up with Gabby, I'm guessing, on the banks of the Bosphorus.
Hope so.
I wonder where he is now. I hope he is doing a bit of sightseeing. It's a fine city for that. Really.
I've never been. I'd love to go. Actually.
Lots to see.
Fascinating place. Yeah.
So we'll have a chat. I wonder if he's going for the old Turkish bath. Because that is a must-do if you're going there. They're very good.
Yeah, we did come up with a great...
I'm sure our social team will have him sweating and worked over in the Turkish bath.
Well, I've seen
being beaten up by a big bloke.
A film of him with two
Yeah, his ears are on fire. That's right. Anyway, more from Gabby. Colin Hendry joining us. And Pele's World Cup winners medal will be live in the studio in the next hour.
24 hours later, Mo Salah took to social media, and we know that Salah is out there very shortly. And he says, I've witnessed this club go from doubters to believers and from believers to champions. It took hard work, and I always did everything I could to help the club get there. Us crumbling to yet another defeat this season was very painful and not what our fans deserve. I want to see Liverpool go back to being the heavy metal attacking team that opponents fear and back to being a team that wins trophies. That's the football I know how to play, and that's the identity that needs to be recovered and kept for good. It can't be negotiable, and everyone that joins this club should adapt to it. Why is he doing that, do you think, Simon? I've heard this discussed in various other outlets, but let's do it ourselves. What's his motivation, do you think?
He doesn't get on very well with Arne Slot, I suspect. Doesn't agree with him. They've obviously had a fault. Nothing's changed. What do we think changed? There was no massive climb down from Salah for his outburst back in October, November, December of last year, was there? So there was only a papering over the cracks and managing of the situation. The player's leaving. He's out the door. He doesn't seemingly or apparently or evidently get on with the manager. So he's having his two-penneth. He's throwing his little two-penneth in. What I think was more concerning was the errant little bunch of despots that have thrown their two-penneth in behind him by liking his tweet, which are current players in the squad. He's a thing of the past. He's been a wonderful player for Liverpool. He's achieved wonderful things with Liverpool, and Liverpool have been wonderful for him. He's now gone.
Now, who are these little despots like Curtis Jones, liked the post with a hand clapping emoji? Dominic Szoboszlai also liked it on Instagram.
We can all make, do we really run our world by social media posts? I mean, some people would say that a president was elected as a result of social media, so you have to give it some credence. But the fact that these guys have liked it, whilst I don't sit there looking around to see who likes things, there is an element of, was that really necessary? He's entitled to have his view. He's out the door. There's no casualties for him, besides perhaps leaving a mark on Arne Slot because he doesn't particularly like him and doesn't enjoy playing for him and doesn't respect him. Because clearly he doesn't respect him because he said the things he said.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan van range. Scoring a winning hat-trick of performance, payload and price. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
I'm Ben Fletcher. Good afternoon. Scotland World Cup squad is out. We're told the forward line is the strongest it's been in quite a while. Southampton's Ross Stewart makes the plane. No room for Hull's Ollie McBurney, though. Here's talkSPORT Shabana Han.
I don't know if he could have done any more at Hull City this season. 5 goals in his last 10 games, 17 this season. Ross Stewart comes in, which I think a lot of people are keen on. That's a good season for him. George Hurst comes in as well.
A first recall for Ross Stewart in 4 years. Steve Clarke is pleased he's found his way back.
Ross obviously was in my squad a few years ago, showing that he could come up to this level, was good in the squad. He's had a terrible run of injury, and then obviously this season, certainly the latter half of the season from January onwards, he's hit a rich vein of form where he's shown that he can score big goals in big games.
43-year-old goalkeeper Craig Gordon keeps his place. Scotland kick off their campaign against Haiti in the early hours of Sunday the 14th of June. You can hear every game at the World Cup here on talkSPORT. It's our understanding Pep Guardiola has now told his players he's leaving City this summer. This as Enzo Maresca is said to have already agreed a 3-year deal to replace him. Simon Jordan says Maresca's one lucky boy because of the condition Pep will leave the club in.
I think this season is transition, and I think he leaves Manchester City for the next incumbent an opportunity to build from it in the same way that Klopp did. Unlike Alex Ferguson, with due respect, despite the fact that Ferguson was a brilliant manager and was probably in the annals of Premier League probably the greatest manager, but he didn't leave Manchester United in the best condition.
We've heard Maresca will bring his Chelsea assistants Willy Caballero and Roberto Vitiello to the Etihad, and we'll keep an eye on tonight's do-or-die clash with Bournemouth here on talkSPORT.
talkSPORT News.
Petrol's hit the highest price since the start of the Iran war, and net migration is expected to fall to the lowest level since COVID. More from Amelia at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. The season's changing, so get your car's shim pads and studs checked for spring with a free vehicle safety check. Book in centre or at quickfit.com today.
That rain clearing out to the east, but more showers will follow in behind it. Sunshine for many of us for what's left of the afternoon.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Yes, now listen up with the 2026 FIFA World Cup almost here. Thanks to Adidas, the tournament's official match ball supplier, talkSPORT is sending you and a friend to Dallas, Texas.
Wow.
You could be at England's first game against Croatia on June 17 with return flights, accommodation, spending money, tickets and the official Adidas match ball, the Tri-Onda, all thrown in. Ready to get that winning feeling? Here's how to enter.
Will it fit in your suitcase? I don't know, never mind.
They'll deflate it and you can pump it up when you get home.
That's true.
You haven't thought that. It's a football, Andy. That's how it works.
For your chance to win, head to talksportwin.com or text WIN to 83338. Text and online entries cost £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 418 7260. Entries must be in by the 1st of June 2026 at 4 p.m. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus UK residents only. This is a TalkSPORT promotion. Full T's and C's at talksportwin.com. For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 right now. What a prize.
Sensational. Yeah, good luck. Let's head then to Istanbul, where tomorrow night Villa take on Freiburg in the Europa League final. Of course, there for us, the former Villa player, our very own Gabby Agbonlahor. Hi, Gab.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are we?
Oh,
look at that.
Floating on his little boat on the Bosphorus here.
That looks nice, Gab.
Does look nice. Is that a little private boat for you, or is that an all-you-can-drink booze cruise you're on?
No, do you know what? I'm lucky enough to be on the Hull City chairman's boat.
Oh.
He's took us out for the afternoon. So,
Nice, lovely.
yeah, we're just waiting now to dock, and he's let us film on here, so we owe him a big thank you.
Yeah, I wonder what he thinks about all this playoff stuff that's going on, because it's going to affect them, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but he's very excited for the game on Saturday, and I'm sure he's hoping that Hull can get over the line.
So, I take it there's a lot of Villa fans who've travelled there. I mean, are there a fair few without tickets, as far as you can tell?
Yeah, yesterday, I flew yesterday afternoon. I got here yesterday, and there were thousands already here. All the Irish bars, as you know, all taken over by Villa, and they've been very good over here with all the bars. There've been bars for Freiburg, bars for Aston Villa, and they've been very welcoming to the Villa fans. And there'll be thousands, tens of thousands that haven't got tickets. And I was speaking to some fans that they've took their kids out of school. It's a week. They've come here. They're going to be here Monday to Friday. These cup finals in Europe don't come around all the time for teams like Aston Villa. So I think Villa fans are making the most of it. A week's holiday.
Well, I mean, those kids can take in a bit of the culture, can't they? They can go and check out all of that and go back with a school project. I think that would be a good idea.
Exactly. And then history lessons, they'll be top, won't they? They'll be getting 8 stars in history.
They will be.
I was thinking, what a brilliant season this has been for Villa. I was thinking about this last night, because they've had the handicap of having to play Thursday, Sunday. We all know that it's a difficult thing, and yet they've still managed to finish in the Champions League positions, that's some achievement, isn't it?
Do you know what's more incredible is that, like, Aston Villa spent the least amount of money. in last summer's transfer window. Every team spent more. All the promoted teams. I think Sunderland spent over 130 million. Aston Villa spent 30. To lose Jacob Ramsey, who was a big part of what Aston Villa did, then to start off the season so poorly, remember? I don't think they'd won after 4 or 5 games, Aston Villa. To then go on a crazy run, Thursday, Sunday, to do outstanding Europa League, get to Europa League final, plus having your back pocket Champions League football before the last game of the season away to Manchester City, which now will be Pep Guardiola's last game. All the best in getting a result there. So it's been fantastic, but just not good enough to have a nomination for Manager of the Year. Explain that to me, guys.
Yeah, that's strange. He's such a brilliant manager. He's done a great...
Especially on this competition, yeah. I imagine it's a nice atmosphere with the Freiburg fans. Yeah, they've got no extra grime with Villa and vice versa, so I imagine everybody's mixing quite nicely, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the weather's been fantastic today. Honestly, it's been like a holiday vibe in Istanbul. All the fans are coming over, obviously flying from different places. Some have had to go to Glasgow, to different places in the UK to get a flight over here. And I think it's going to be tens of thousands just coming without a ticket. Hopefully, can get a ticket in a neutral section. But even if not, there's fan parks that have been put on where I'm sure both fans can mix. And it's a happy atmosphere here, and everyone's just looking forward to that game tomorrow. And I'm hoping and I'm sure Aston Villa will get the job done.
Now, you're soaking up a bit of culture over there, and you've gone to a Turkish barbers, as is traditional. And I think if people haven't seen the footage yet, if you're watching on connected TV, Gab, they're sitting in the chair, and they put the sort of tapers in each ear.
Look.
And they set light to each end. You look absolutely terrified in that video, Gab.
You're not surprised. Got burning.
Do you know what?
Flames.
I think Andy Goldstein laughed at me a lot about bald men aren't meant to go barbers, but I don't believe that. So I'm fighting for all the bald men out there. We go through a lot. And everyone takes the mick out of us. But I like to go there, they give you a face mask, they scrub your head, and the things in the ears, basically, he burns either side, and he gets all the earwax out of your ears.
Wow.
So, it was fascinating, and I think I've started a trend because I'm getting sent loads of videos of Villa fans doing the same thing.
Brilliant.
I was going to say, just on the culture front very quickly, I was in Istanbul a couple of years ago, and while you're there, you should go to the old hammams, go and get the Turkish bath, Gabby. I can see our social media boys enjoying you getting worked over by some sort of 18-stone bloke or woman, who knows, getting the full works, being whacked with a towel.
But guys, you know how hard we work, guys. We have a very tough job. We all deserve, to be looked after. To work on a yacht like this is difficult. So hopefully there's more surprises in for me.
Just a final word about Ollie Watkins, because at one point it looked like Tuchel didn't fancy him, but his late season form, he must be on the plane, mustn't he? There can't be a doubt about it, in my view.
Yeah. I think for me in football, as being an ex-footballer myself, sometimes you need that kick up the backside, and that's what he got by being left out by Thomas Tuchel for the latest England squad in March. He would have been confused probably of like, oh, I didn't know my performances were that bad. So since then, you've seen the Ollie Watkins that Aston Villa have had for a number of years, hungry, running in behind, aggressive, finishing, taking his chances, working hard. That's the Ollie Watkins that Thomas Tuchel wants to see. I'm sure without a shadow of doubt now, he will be England's second striker at the World Cup.
So once you're off the multi-millionaire's boat this afternoon, what else is down for you today, Gab?
So I'm just going to get on the local bus if I've got any money left, mate. From the millionaire's boat to the bus, and I'm going to do a hit into drive later on, and go have some food later. But honestly, the atmosphere, the Villa fans are enjoying. Everyone's in a happy mood, and everyone's just excited for this final. All the Villa fans are very, very confident, not overconfident, but very confident that this group of players, after the Forest victory and Liverpool victory, the team are focused and looking forward to getting a result, guys.
Brilliant. Okay, we'll hear from you later. Enjoy the rest of the day, Gab. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Gab.
Thank you, guys. I'll try not to. Thank you.
Gabby Agbonlaw there on a little boat trip.
Look nice.
We're bringing that game live tomorrow night, Villa versus Freiburg, and our own Rupert Bell will be out there, going out there with his one of his lads. So, Rupert, have a good time if you haven't set off yet, but I know he's going to be there in the stadium. Look out for him. Look out for the the only man wearing a monocle in the Villa end, I would imagine, would be my guess. You'll get a glint off of his monocle.
And a top hat.
Yes, that's right. Colin Hendry's joined us in the studio next, and we're going to look at the Scotland squad and other matters besides. And later on, Brad Friedel will be here to start our build-up to Chelsea Spurs this evening, the former Spurs keeper. We're here with our good friends at Tool Station. Only got time for one stop. First stop, Tool Station.
As we alluded to yesterday, Southampton are likely to face a sporting sanction if they're found guilty of spying charges. As a result, they could end up being thrown out of the playoff final to be replaced in that final by Middlesbrough instead, the team that they put out last night at the semi-final second leg stage. We said we'd look into this more thoroughly from a financial, legal expert point of view, and the very man who fits that bill is sitting to my right. Stefan Borsten joins us live in studio. And Stefan, good morning to you.
Hi.
We'll get into how this may or may not play out in the courts. Is there a precedent, Stefan, for chucking a team out of the playoffs?
Well, it happened to Swindon, but it was different. Well, not in terms of the playoffs, but in terms of sort of annulling the promotion. But it was a different situation. I mean, there's no situation where you've had it all come to a head within this small window around the playoffs. In terms of spying / espionage, there's really very few cases anywhere in football in respect of this. So you've got the Leeds situation that we know about, where it was systematic. They ended up with a £200,000 fine. And effectively, the other part of the sanction was to vote in favour of the rule that then came in. This rule that we're now talking about in terms of the 72-hour rule. That was part of the agreement on that. So that brought the rule in. The only other case is actually from the from the Olympics with Canada's women's team, and FIFA in 2024 docked them 6 points.
It's a nutty canister, either way. I mean, look at the nut on it.
Bob Odenkirk!
Saul was great. He was just a breath of fresh air.
Amelia Clark! Star Wars versus Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, definitely.
I'm loyal.
Don't tell me. Alex Hassel!
In season 2, a lot of us get our clothes off.
You do know you did that in season 1?
Exactly, that's true, yeah. Sorry.
Now, the Scotland squad was announced a little bit earlier on, and we're delighted to say the former Scotland defender who was there in '98, Colin Hendry, has joined us in the studio. He's coming with Sean Harley. They're first going to talk about football versus cancer, the charity they're both involved in. They've got a lot of stuff coming up. So good afternoon, guys. Lovely to see you.
Good afternoon.
Coming in.
Lovely to be here.
Well, let's start then, finding out a bit more about football versus cancer. Sean, tell us more. Tell us what events I know you've got a game coming up, and you've also got a big gala dinner. So tell us a bit about the charity.
We do. So I'll be very quick because there's a lot to it. The event started in 2009. Sorry, as just a small-sided football game to raise some funds for Mick Belson and his family, who Mick passed away with a brain tumour. It quickly, over the years, got bigger, and then Football versus Cancer was born, where we got lots of ex-professionals involved to help us raise money for an amazing cause, children with brain cancer, supporting their families, and that's where it's kind of came from, and it's just really built on from there. It's grown, and we've managed to get some incredible people like Colin involved over the years.
How did you find out about it, Colin, the charity?
Came through one of the social media outlets. Just Sean messaged me and I said, listen, because I mean, I've been affected. My family's been affected.
Sure.
Lost my father in 2008, the year before I'd lost my late wife, Denise. And my mum's had to live with it as well as, for the last 10, 12 years, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So it's fully versed in my family, and it's, the more support and the more people pulling towards trying to create, funding to help make things easier, I think, for a lot of people more than anything. Whether we get the cure, is there a cure?
Yeah.
We don't really know that, but just supporting the funding that helps people have an easier or a better form.
Certainly, I think breakthroughs are being made all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's what you'd be hoping eventually, that we do get something that comes along and puts. It's not going to put a complete stop to it, and I understand that because I know how it works, but it'll certainly help.
And we've got two of the most powerful names in the world, haven't we? Football, cancer.
Yeah.
They're recognisable everywhere, so we've put the two together and we're fighting.
And you've got a game at Peterborough United on Saturday the 30th of May. And you've got, so it's a Peterborough Legends team versus your Legends team.
Yeah, so we've put it all together. So we've got quite a lot of ex-Posh boys involved in it already. Aaron McLean, Craig McHale-Smith, because the event is in Peterborough, initially has been. So we decided this year, let's really ramp it up. There's a bit of banter in the changing rooms with the ex-Premier League boys and the Posh boys. So
we're going to get Adrian Durham involved.
We'd love to get Adrian there. I mean,
probably if he's going to be, he'll still be here at that stage. We'll let him know about it, certainly. Are you playing, Colin?
Yes, I'll be playing, yeah.
This guy's a machine.
You pull on the boots fairly regularly still?
As much as I can, yeah. Charity games, Legends games, as much as I can. Enjoy it, because I can do. It's it'll be sad the day that I can't run about, but I still.
It's good.
And I'm a bit late in the tackle.
Nothing's changed.
That's the only thing I would say, and in 2 feet as well. But anyway, and for a penny and for a pound.
And then after the match is a gala dinner. That sounds good, actually. And is that obviously it's in Peterborough as well?
Yeah, it's part of it. It's at the Holiday Inn, so it's organised by my wife. She does an incredible job there. I've got to give her dues. Puts up with me and to the likes of Colin. Messing around.
She likes me so.
She does like you a lot. Likes you more than me.
So where's the website? Where do we find it, Ross? Where we can find out more information about it?
So it's www.footballvscancer.co.uk. Everything's on there. Kick-off 1:30 Saturday the 30th of May. Posh Legends v Football v Cancer Legends. I mean, the Football v Cancer team's pretty good. We've got Paul Merson pulling the boots on. You've got Ross McCormack, Ken Moncow, John McGinley. So we've
good
got
side.
We've got a really good side there, and
it's a proper
team.
It'll be a proper game because a lot of the Posh boys will be probably, I would say, Sean, and I know you've not give this away, but they're probably going to be a bit younger than us. But they're still ex-professional footballers, and because of that, they'll be able to do what we would like to achieve, is just keep the ball and make them run around.
Absolutely.
I think it's going to.
Sure,
I don't think it's going to be that easy.
You'll let them know you're there in the first 5 minutes. I won't want to get near you after that.
Just a wee elbow.
They're used to that.
So we've had Stevie Clarke's squad today. What do you think, Colin? Any surprises in there for you?
Not really. I mean, Big Stuart up front, who's had a decent contribution to Southampton, and they're in the the playoff final. Possibly Ollie McBurney might have had a look at him at Hull, because
I mean, certainly in terms of form and the way.
But they're doing it, yeah. And you've got, I mean, in all due respect, you've got to pick on form. You've got to, and because we need goals. Scotland's never been renowned for scoring piles and piles of goals. But these two, well, sure, he's into it. Ollie McBurney's not. But with him on fire, really, at this minute in time, and could have a massive say in the playoff final as well as against Southampton.
But with Scotland, isn't it? It's the collective, isn't it? I mean, if you look at their individual, especially forwards, they're not going to frighten anybody, really. They're all good professionals, all good players. But they're not. They're not listening to
that.
But do you know what I mean? They're not Mbappe, Neymar, are they?
I think we've always been like that, haven't we? Even
Ali's going to take that hard, Colin.
Ali was 96, which I can't really talk about 96, but you're 96. But the World Cup in 98, with Dukey, with Dan Jackson, with Kev Galley, we had Scott Boo that didn't really get involved, and we had similar type players of a similar ilk that weren't, but they would run the channels, they would hold the ball up for you, they would do the not so appreciative side of the game, really. But hey. We've got McTominay, we've got Miguel.
Well, the midfield looks really good.
Yeah. And again, and casting back to 98, even you've got Gary McAllister, John Collins, and Craig Burley. You've a few in there that could contribute with a goal. But it's going to be interesting. I mean, I'm glad that you've not asked me if Scotland are going to win the World Cup. Because I'd said that in social media. You're going to ask me now, aren't you?
No,
exactly. Which, it could be a tough ask for that. But I really do think we've got a chance at getting into the next stages of it. And always, there's a lot more teams involved. And also on top of that, I think is it the third best teams that qualify.
You've got to be really poor not to make the next set.
You should get through that.
Well, yeah, but the games, and I was talking to Steve Clarke only 3 weeks ago at the SPFA Awards in Glasgow. And I think, he said everybody seems to think that the Haiti game's a pushover, which it won't be. And Morocco is probably a game which is alike, which is not, because they're a very, very good side. And of course, Brazil's Brazil, irrespective of whatever time we play them.
You played against Brazil in a World Cup, Colin, didn't you?
I did. I had the great honour of captaining Scotland in the opening game in 1998.
I bet a win and a draw will do it, though.
I think a win possibly may do it. It just depends on the other results.
But good to get off to a good start, wouldn't it? I mean, like we were joking with Ali Ross, who's one of the Tartan Army earlier on, about Costa Rica in 90, and if you can get through the 80 game, which there's going to be a bit of nerves and stuff, but you get off to a win, then anything's possible.
Well, you've got that 3 points. You can't really rely on that taking you through, but certainly gives you a chance in the second game. Morocco, who's powerful side, powerful nation in football. You could take a point off of them, and then you could literally enjoy the game against Brazil. And probably, knowing us, we'd probably take someone off Brazil.
I think
but you know what I mean?
Will. Yeah.
That's strange things that could happen in football.
Did you play with Craig Gordon at any point? No. I remember you must have almost crossed over. He's possibly as a kid.
Yeah.
As a kid, he must have been in the frame.
I'm a lot older than what
so I suppose it is 98. He would have been about. He probably would have been about 13, which is
28 years ago.
Yeah,
1998.
Yeah.
20.
So he would have been about 15. I never know. He was old for his age. It's a great story though, isn't it? At 43
fantastic.
To be in the squad.
Yeah, fantastic. Incredible. And he's pulled off a save or two recently that you think he's still got that. He's still got the agility. He's still got the ability. He's sprightly enough. And a goalie, I think, even at that age, you can get away with that in one-off games. I really, hopefully he'll get a cap in there. He'll get a start. I mean, I don't really know who's going to start because, and Steve Clarke, you can't read his mind, but certainly he's there.
Did you enjoy the season this year in Scotland? It was a proper title race.
It was better than the EPL, I would say.
Yes, Ross is still wearing his heart scarf at the moment. You're a Rangers man, aren't you?
I am a Rangers man, yeah. So tough one to take, but I think what it's done this year is it's done something that for the last 20 years hasn't happened in Scottish football.
Yeah,
the watching world is watching, and it's created something that is really kind of epitomised what we've missed.
And it's good. It is kind of. We were saying yesterday. It feels like it's if there is going to be a third force and keeping everybody on there. It's got to be good for Scottish football, isn't it? It's got to be maybe good for investment for some of the other teams in the SPL. We think,
they'll be watching. They'll be watching people, and they'll be thinking to challenge, the big two, Rangers and Celtic in that league. But Hearts have been value for money. It's been. Must be such a disappointment for them. But I did a bit of speaking over the weekend, and somebody said, when I was at Dundee initially in my career, did you ever play against Hearts? And I said, well, I actually played in the Hearts game that Albert Kidd came off the bench and scored the 2 goals to prevent them from winning the league back in 1986.
You are older than
40 years ago, 40 years ago. So I was involved in that game, but it would have been nice to have broken up the domination, although the domination's been pretty one-sided for a while with Celtic, with Rangers,
How you feel about Rangers going to Danny Roll and everything very quickly, Sean?
Football changes so quickly, doesn't it? Especially in the modern age now. So it could be hated at the moment, and then next week it could be loved. So I think just like I say, this season I think we just need to enjoy what's happened this year. Some of the decisions have been questionable, I'm not going to lie, but I think that's happened on both sides of the border. But like I say, from a Scottish perspective, it's great for the nation. It's great, like you said, hopefully investors are looking at it and somebody will come in and go, could we beat the Old Firm dominance? And so overall I'm happy with what's happened in Scotland this year.
Well, look, lovely to see you both. Thank you very much for coming in. Just remind us, Sean, of the website. People can find out about the game in Peterborough on the 30th and the dinner. So
Saturday the 30th of May, the game's at the Peterborough United Ground Posh Stadium, and 1:30pm kick-off. The evening event, there's still tickets available for. I think we've got about 20 tickets left, so not many, where you can spend the evening with the players.
Brilliant.
Like Colin, and the website is www.footballvscancer.co.uk.
Excellent. Thank you, Sean, and thank you, Colin. Lovely to see you again.
You too, guys.
So maybe we'll have a chat during the World Cup as well.
Absolutely.
After that victory over Brazil.
Oh yeah.
We can contemplate. We can contemplate the knockout stages.
Oh yeah. Could we get drunk?
Can I just say, just before we go on that, nobody thought that Greece would win the Euros.
No, they didn't. What about Greece?
What about Greece? Yeah, we always say that.
There's Colin Hendry there and Sean Harley. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We're going to talk a bit of boxing next. Pele's World Cup medal will be in the studio. And Jenson Button, as well as Brad Friedel, joining us in the final hour.
How much credit does Bruno Fernandes deserve? You're not a fan of this assist thing, are you? Now that he's equal Thierry Henry's record.
Well, no, I mean, Thierry got 20 assists and 24 goals.
We're just talking about assists.
No, but altogether, my thing with this, right, is fair play to him. He's equal to a very good record, and I've got no issue with that whatsoever. I'd like to see a little bit more emphasis on goals rather than a few goals and a whole load of assists.
I mean, not his job to score goals, but I hear you.
De Bruyne's got the same record, and 13 goals.
Yeah, he's got 8.
So there's
we might score 6.
Numbers work, right?
Using my lines, you've learned very well. High five. Yeah, good work, man.
But no, listen, what he's done in a bad Manchester United period is phenomenal. Certainly this season with the assists, and it was funny because watching the game, there's so many times he could have shot and he opted to pass it because he's obviously desperate for his record.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I get it, but I can't remember when all of a sudden goals and assists became a thing. Certainly when I was playing in the Premier League, it was all about, if you're a striker, goals. And then if you're a creative midfield player, how many assists he got. All of a sudden now, and I think some players are getting away with it, with this goals and assists, because ultimately the name of the game is still to put the ball in the back of the net. But you're seeing some guys, they've got 17 goals and assists and they're forward. You go, well, how many goals they got? Well, they got, 4 goals and 13 assists. You're like, well, that's not any good.
Terrible,
That's terrible. But because they're putting our goals and assists together,
you're all right.
It's almost overshadowing everything.
Do you care about any stats? Like you're a fan of XG. There's another one called XA.
Yeah.
Do you know what XA is?
Assists. Expected assists.
It's expected assist. Now I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know. I know about XG, but listen, I like XG but I don't.
You can't explain it.
The only stats that I really
Care about
goals. I think assists to a certain level.
Clean sheets.
Yeah, I love touches in opposition box because I think that tells you a lot about how a team's attacking. Because if and I always like to compare the XG with touches inside the opposition box.
You always like to do that.
Yeah, because if you're a team in certain games, you're getting 40 touches in the opposition box and there's no goals. What's going on?
The Scotland World Cup squad is out. We're told the forward line is the strongest it's been in quite a while. Southampton's Ross Stewart makes the plane. No room, though, for Hull City's Ollie McBurney. Here's talkSPORT's Shabana Hearn.
I don't know if he could have done any more at Hull City this season. 5 goals in his last 10 games, 17 this season. Ross Stewart comes in, which I think a lot of people are keen on. That's a good season for him. George Hurst comes in as well.
43-year-old goalkeeper Craig Gordon keeps his place. Check out the full squad at talksport.com. Elsewhere, Pep Guardiola will leave Man City as the best manager of all time. That's the view of Neil Warnock, who says that Pep's influence is felt even at Torquay down in National League South.
Torquay try and play like Man City. He's brought things in. I mean, you know, we haven't got the players that Man City have got, but even the smaller clubs are trying to play the way his philosophy and everything.
talkSPORT understands Pep has now told his players he's leaving. This as Enzo Maresca is said to have already agreed a 3-year deal to replace him. Simon Jordan says Maresca's a lucky man because of the condition Pep will leave the club in.
I think this season is transition, and I think he leaves Manchester City for the next incumbent an opportunity to build from it in the same way that Klopp did. Unlike Alex Ferguson, with due respect, despite the fact that Ferguson was a brilliant manager and was probably in the annals of Premier League probably the greatest manager.
Get all the latest at talksport.com.
Yeah, we're talking football with Brad Friedel, F1 with Jenson Button still to come, and lots more besides. Susie McCabe, a Celtic fan comedian, popping in to see us as well a bit later on. But before that, let's talk boxing with our very own Spencer Oliver. Hi, Spencer.
Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Good, thank you. I know you've got another talk boxing coming up. We'll talk about that later. But you were in Doncaster last week for the Dave Allen, Filip Hrgovic fight. Yeah, it didn't last long. It was a weird fight, wasn't it? I mean, it was over very quickly, but Dave didn't seem massively perturbed. What did you make of the evening?
Yeah, it was a weird, wet night. Let me just say that. I mean, we had all sorts. Yeah, the rain was just coming down non-stop, so it was tough circumstances we were working under, and it was a tough night for Dave Allen. Like you say, he just didn't seem to turn up. You know, I think there was a lot of talk before the fight that Dave, you know, it was going to be his crowning moment. He was going to go in there and he was going to give it his all, and we sort of all fell into that trap, you know, where we were maybe thinking with our hearts and not our heads, but it soon become apparent. Reality kicked in straight away. As soon as that first bell went, you saw that these guys were worlds apart. You got a guy that's maybe at sort of British level. All right, he was giving it his all, but against a guy that was an elite world-class athlete. And I think that's what we saw from Filip Hrgovic, who dominated from the opening round and used Dave Allen as a punch bag, really, for 3 rounds before Jamie Moore jumped up and stopped the fight. Jamie Moore being the trainer of Dave Allen, and it was a great decision to do that because Dave was on the end of a lot of punishment.
Yeah. You had a chat with Dave. I think we can have a listen to that now after the fight.
I'm so grateful. I feel like a winner. I just got absolutely hammered, and I feel like a winner. So that's the great. I'm a good fighter, but tonight I can finally sit down at home and go, you know what? I trained really hard, and I weren't good enough, and that's fine.
Well, listen, we want to see you in a British title fight, Dave. I think that was where it would be great to see you. We'd love to see you in with a Richard Rapp
British title one day. And the stoppage in the beanstalk, I love Jamie and I. They look after me, best interest. And I can come back and fight another day. Whether that's a British title, I'm not so sure. Riappo's very, very good. There's a lot of good fighters, but a bit of a rest now, and I'm fitter than I've ever been. I'm enjoying my training. I'm enjoying my life, and hopefully I can have another little good run at it.
I didn't recognise you there, Spencer. You're in good nick, but you've got 4 layers on, including a puffer jacket
and a packer mat.
I thought it was Naz.
I didn't recognise myself when I watched it back. I'm not going to lie. It was it was one of those nights where we was layered up, to say the least, and then I had a poncho over the top of that as well. Looked like someone had dropped a piano on my neck or something. No neck at all. But it was a strange old night for Dave Allen, for sure.
Yeah. Can Hrgovic cause Moses Talma problems? Because that looks like that's going to happen in August, doesn't it?
The answer is yes, he can cause him problems. I think we're going to get the answers that we have all been craving to find out about Moses Talma. Yes, he is globally probably one of the best prospects in any weight division. That is for sure. 14-0, 12 of those by KO. He's looked great in doing everything against Jermaine Franklin last time. He looked sensational. Dillian White, he blew away in a round. Filip Hrgovic is an elite class heavyweight. You know, he would be a top 5 in the world heavyweight. And it's going to be interesting to see how Moses deals with that. Yeah. You know, I think it's a calculated gamble from Frank Warren and George Warren and the Queensbury team to put Moses in, and they're the best at doing that, actually, taking the right fights at the right time. But this is a huge step up to anybody who's ever boxed before. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes, if the fight goes a few rounds, which I expected to.
You've just been doing talk boxing with Derek Chisora. What hat was he? Was he in his MAGA hat, his bowler hat? What hat was he wearing today?
Can I just say that it's just a relief to be up here with you? I've just had an hour of torment down there with Derek Chisora, who he was on form, to be fair. He was obviously talking about the fight of the weekend, what's coming up. Derek Chisora, Deontay Wilder 2.
So he's carrying on.
Well, he said that he wants to continue boxing, so it all kicked off a little bit when we sort of told him we didn't think he should be doing that. He was,
he's not going to want to hear that.
He didn't want to hear that, but I told him I'm speaking from the heart, not my head.
Yeah,
I'm talking as a friend. But yeah, it was a very interesting one, as it always is with Derek Chisora. Yeah. Let's say, what's the best word to describe it? Unpredictable.
Yeah, that's right. It's never boring.
That's out tonight at 8 o'clock on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. Talk Boxing. Yeah.
You're going to be heading off to Giza to see the Rico Verhoeven fight against Alexander Usyk, kickboxer versus elite boxer. What is
it? Boxing.
It is boxing.
Great question, Andy. Yeah, it's a crossover. So. No, it's boxing, and this is where so I don't mind that, right? So, Alexander Usyk has earned that right. He's beaten everybody twice, Anthony Joshua twice, Tyson Fury twice. He's beaten everybody. You go, all right, let's give him that. Let him have that fight. The controversies around the WBC title being on the line. And Jason Statham is the one that made Statham. Sorry, Jason Statham is the guy that made the fight. Believe it or not,
the actor, really?
The actor, yeah, he made the fight. So he's friends with Turkey. He was at one of the shows, and he said, one of my mates is a world kickboxing champion, been there for 10 years. I think it'd be a great crossover fight. Turkey went, I like that. So look, it's an interest in it for sure. But that's how the fight was sort of put together, and it's in front of the pyramids. It's going to be fantastic to be over there. It's an interesting undercard as well, with Frank Sanchez going in against Richard Torres, and we've got Jack Catterall boxing for the WBA welterweight title, and we've also got Hamza Shiraz boxing for the WBO super middleweight title.
Usyk is the master strategist, isn't he? He's a brilliant boxer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Surely he's going to be too strong for this bloke,
Well, Verhoeven, this is the thing that Verhoeven doesn't realise yet, but he's going to soon find out on Saturday night. He's talking a lot about his size and being way too big for Alexander, and once he feels my power...
Yeah, a lot of people have thought that.
Was Tyson Fury not big then at 6'9", 20 odd stone? Was Anthony Joshua not a big guy who hits as hard as any other heavyweight? Dillian White. So yeah, I think it's going to be a surprise for Verhoeven when he gets in the ring, because I think he's relying on size, strength to try and bully Alexander Usyk. But as you guys know, he's he can be like Houdini in there at times, can't he?
No, he's
now the fight people have been talking about for Conor Benn was Ryan Garcia, the WBC welterweight champion. And Garcia says it's on. He says it's happening, doesn't he?
It is happening. September the 12th, apparently, he said that fight is happening. It's happening in Las Vegas. It will be the first time in over 4 years that Conor Benn has made welterweight. So he's been boxing, obviously, up with Chris Eubank Jr. is at 160 pounds, and then he come down to 150 pounds in his last fight. Maybe, some people say they're lacking a little bit of strength. The punch power sort of left him down at 147. Is going to be a totally different task as well. It's a tough night for Conor Benn, but he gets that opportunity for the WBC.
Do you give him a
welterweight
chance
title
against Garcia?
You got to give him a chance. You have to give him a chance, but it's probably quite a slim one. Yeah, but listen, it's about opportunity, and we don't know. Conor Benn's been craving for this world title fight. He's been calling it out for a long time. The thing that concerns me, Paul, is when you go up to 160 pound, the super middleweight division, and then you're coming back down to welterweight. You're the division that you used to compete in, but you haven't been there for 4 years. You haven't made that weight for 4 years. I think your body adjusts and acclimatises to a certain weight division. And I think it's hard when you come back down. We saw Roy Jones going up to heavyweight and going back down to super middle, and he was never the same. Yeah. And I think for Conor Benn, it may just lost a bit of that punch power and maybe even a bit of punch resistance at 147. That's why I lean towards Ryan Garcia, whose natural weight is 147.
Be a big payday, though, for him, of course.
Listen, a big payday, more importantly, the opportunity. He's been craving the world title fight, and now he gets it.
So enjoy Giza. I'm no doubt we'll chat to you when you're over there with the pyramids in the background, Spencer.
Absolutely, Paul. I will be doing some hits, and I'm hoping that it will be one of those. We'll be live into your show for sure. I love talking to you guys.
Safe journey, and we'll catch up with you when you're over there.
Brilliant, thank you.
There's our own Spencer Oliver. Talk Boxing, 8 o'clock tonight with Derek Chisora and the gang, looking at all the big stories of the week in boxing. Jake Kirkham and Adam Gascoigne are coming. They're coming in with Pele's World Cup medal, the real thing. We're going to get to touch it, the great man's medal. We'll find out how they came to get it and some other amazing World Cup memorabilia. In a few moments' time, we're here with Toolstation. Make the switch to the Toolstation Trade Club. Save 10% on all electrical and lighting when you buy cable and flexes. Next stop, Toolstation.
Is this the most significant departure, you think, managerial departure in Premier League history? I mean, there are a few big
No,
ones.
not really.
No?
I think it's the most significant departure for Manchester City. But I think in all the clubs, I think the Klopp impact upon Liverpool was remarkable in terms of galvanising the club back to its fans, back to the levels of achievement, to a brand of football that ignited and excited most people. And Klopp walked out and decided that he'd had enough and left Arne Slot with a wonderful squad that are able to win the Premier League next year, or the following year, sorry. You've seen Ferguson leave, after 26 years. I don't think his legacy, I think his achievements are remarkable, but I think the squad that he left, it does not compare to the squad that Klopp left Liverpool, and does not compare to the squad that Guardiola is leaving Maresca. And Maresca is indeed a lucky boy. He wouldn't be in this job if he hadn't been in the building previously. I think probably all the lessons that he will have learnt at Chelsea will be taken into the Man City job. And so his experiences, his maturity of being able to manage up might be slightly better now. But he's in a wonderful, blessed position that they are built. The last 2 years of a year of decline and a year of rebuilding have all culminated in the fact that they've done a double this year. I mean, I can't think of a more boring FA Cup final for some time, but notwithstanding it, they still won it. Right? And they've done a double this year. They won't do the treble. Arsenal will win the league, but notwithstanding that, they'll finish second. They'll have won 2 cups, and Maresca will walk into a group of players that are highly focused, highly motivated, and his opportunity is to prove the fact that he can continue. And I always believe, and I said at the top of this show, that you judge a business when the people that own it are not in it. So you judge a football club by the legacy of the person that's been running it for a period of time. Klopp's legacy was to hand it over for a year to Arne Slot, who effectively just finessed it and won the league. Now the image of Liverpool is now Slot's, and it's not so great. Ferguson left a decaying squad. with due respect to Alex Ferguson, I'm not trying to diminish him in any shape or form, and that then created the problems that have then spiralled out of control for Man United over a 13-year period. So we'll see if Manchester City continue. I suspect they will. I suspect Maresco, I mean, the principles behind Maresco was, it's an open secret. He was discussing going to Manchester City with the Chelsea management, which is probably why there was a lot of angst and irritation between the two parties.
Not wig.
It's a nutty canister, either way. I mean, look at the nut on it.
Bob Odenkirk! Saul was great. He was just a breath of fresh air. Amelia Clark! Star Wars versus Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, definitely.
Go.
I'm loyal.
Don't tell me. Alex Hassel!
In season 2, a lot of us get our clothes off.
You do know you did that in season 1?
Exactly, that's true, yes.
Now, we're going to talk about some pretty special World Cup memorabilia that's going under the hammer soon. And joining us in the studio from Grand Bud Auctions is Adam Gascoigne. And Jake Kirkham, we know, from the world of trading cards, Majesty grading. He often pops in and sees us because there's always weird and wonderful stories from that sort of growing business. Good afternoon, guys.
How you doing?
You're sort of teaming up because you were saying, Adam, that this not necessarily your area of expertise, but it's becoming a huge kind of lucrative area, the trading cards.
Yeah, trading cards now is a huge market. Our background is obviously traditional memorabilia.
Yeah.
We've been chatting over the last couple of months, and it's really good for us to get together and start talking about different things we can work on.
Have you worked in a bit of memorabilia before?
Yes, we dabble in everything, and obviously the cards have memorabilia in them as well. So they just cross over so nicely, and when obviously we got the opportunity to work with Buds, it just kind of felt like this was a great opportunity to do it. So, yeah, we're seeing some crazy memorabilia, showing them some crazy cards at the same time as well. And it's pretty good fun.
There's a story today that we just ran past you. This is a signed 2015 Lionel Messi Panini flawless soul of the game trading card, sold for $411,000 at Heritage Auctions in Texas. But you were telling us that this is quite a bold thing to land that card, isn't it?
Yeah, so we tried our luck at this recently. So we opened a box of Eminence, which is a similar kind of ilk to that kind of product.
Yeah.
And these boxes range from anywhere from £35,000 up to about £70,000.
So that's what you have to pay just for the box.
Just open the box and you get 8 cards in there.
Wow.
So it is very much kind of hit or miss. And obviously this lucky gentleman has opened this box up and found a Lionel Messi card in there. And that sole of the game, what that is a little bit of a play on it. So that's the sole of his boot. So they've taken a bit of a sole of his boot out there and put that into the card and then signed it. And obviously it's now sold for over £400,000.
But still, that was quite an outlay. You were taking a huge chance.
We did one. So we had Jimmy Bullard open the box of us as well, which was a bit of fun. So
I thought you were saying you had a bit of Jimmy Bullard's.
No, well that would you wouldn't want that in there, would you? That wouldn't be what you'd be paying the money for. But he opened up one of the boxes with us, and we opened it up on eBay Live, which was quite fun, and sold it to the masses. And we hit a Lionel Messi as well. So we hit a Lionel Messi. It wasn't a patch, it was just the auto, but it had a diamond encrusted in it as well, which
Wow.
kind of shows you the level of these trading cards are now getting to. And it's
The players, obviously, Lionel Messi, when he signs one of these in a £70,000 box, I take it he's paid quite handsomely for doing that, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and there's always rumours that some of these players aren't actually signing them and stuff like that. So there's always a bit of controversy about it.
Right.
But obviously, these big brands like Panini and Topps are paying top dollar now to make sure they get his signature on there. So,
and of course, provenance is big in your line of work.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's everything, isn't it?
It is. It's huge.
Yeah.
And you talk about that kind of money for the card, and it's crazy money when you think one of the items I brought in, Pele's World Cup winning medal from 1958.
58, yeah.
With all
I'm
the
saying 1970, but 58 when he was a
58,
kid. Yeah, that
17 years of age.
Yeah.
We've got that coming up in our auction, and that's estimated at £300,000 to £500,000. So,
But Pele must have originally sold it to somebody, and then they've sold it on.
Well,
And it's become a currency.
we talk about the provenance, and it doesn't get any better than this because Pele sold all his collection, all the items he'd be given, his medals, shirts, all the gifts that you can imagine, all the events that he went to. Just over 2,000 items he sold in London in 2016. So that was the official Pele auction directly from him, and the current vendor of the medal bought it directly from that auction. So you get that, you get a letter from Pele,
right?
Giving you all the details on that, all the medal details. So you're absolutely right. Provenance, especially on things like this, is everything, really.
You've also got an iconic football, Gordon Banks, 1966. You got his World Cup winners medal, haven't you? And you've got Peter Shilton's 1986 Hand of God match-worn shirt.
Yeah, we've got that shirt as well. The one I'm really excited about is Banks' blue shirt from 70. We're talking about
The Brazil save.
The Brazil save.
Wow.
So to have that.
What's that likely to
really
go for? What's the reserve on that?
We're around about 300,000 for the estimate on that shirt, right at the top.
Was that also one of those AirTech shirts? Because the
It
players
was
in
the-
97 are
yeah.
teabag shirts.
They are, yeah.
They
the
were.
blue. I mean, you take out that save, you're just talking about one of those shirts from the 70s era, that teabag shirt is rare in its own right, but you put it together with the events of that, and it's a fantastic item. So you get, I've got the goosebumps talking about it.
Yeah.
When I actually got to hold that, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And what about this one? I mean, it doesn't get any more iconic. There's Alan Ball's match-worn shirt from the 1966 World Cup final. I mean, that is the game, isn't it? So,
yeah, that's it. As an England supporter, that's the holy grail. I'm allowed to say that. But
how did that come?
Again, the provenance, it's gone through one or two people, but again, that shirt can be traced right the way back to Alan Ball.
That's great.
And actually, it was Alan Ball swapped his shirts, and it was sold at auction that way. And so again, all the provenance is there with that shirt. It's a fantastic
So
shirt.
is this going to be an online auction?
No, it's a live auction.
Wow.
People can bid online as well.
Yeah.
And that's at our HQ in Wellingborough, Northamptonshire.
When's that happening?
So that's on the 25th of June.
Okay, fantastic.
And
you see the medal?
Yeah, we'd love to see the medal.
Absolutely, yeah.
Look at that. So this Pele's
These
1958.
items are always appreciated. You never get a situation where somebody would pay you that money and then 20 years' time it would be worth less. That's not going to happen, is it?
Can't be, can it? Yeah, it's gonna keep going up in value for sure.
Yeah,
There we
something like this is only ever going to go up in value. Things do go up and down.
Don't leave it on the tube.
No, I won't.
Anyway. There it is. It's a very small thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, there's kind of,
It's got some weight to it as well.
So it's 17 grams.
I'm just going to show that to. I'll pass it on to Andy, but I'll just show it to.
Don't drop it.
I'm gonna drop it. Yeah. So there we are. There it is. That is Pele's World Cup medal from 1958. Look great on a key ring, Andy.
Yeah. I'm going to swallow it.
Yeah. Okay. I think you'll be man-marked by Adam for about 2 days, I would imagine. Yeah. Look at that. That is fantastic. But it's a small, beautiful little thing, isn't it?
Fabulous.
Lovely medal. Okay,
Amazing.
we'll pass that back before it gets lost. Or lovely. Look at that. Thank you.
I could see that one day ended up in a trading card, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Smelted down and then turning up. So what's happening just very quickly before we go, what's happening in the world of trading cards? Imagine the World Cup's going to be huge for
Yeah, World Cup's going to be crazy. We've got a card World Cup auction as well, which is going to be we've got the 48 teams that are in there, and we've got a card from each one.
Right.
So we've got some really, really big pieces in there.
What's the most sought after? Is there a kind of couple of standout ones?
It's Lamine Yamal. So you remember the first card when we first met?
Yeah.
We're hoping that card's going to go to auction, which obviously is a £400,000 card, which is crazy.
Yeah.
For a player that's done...
I mean, I
very
suppose
little yet.
they'll also go up if they have good World Cups. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe, you know.
That's what I'm hoping for. You know, I've got a lot of, obviously, a big collection of Harry Kane cards.
Mhm.
I'm hoping he wins the Ballon d'Or. I'm hoping he wins the World Cup for us. Hoping he wins the Golden Boot as well. So, yeah, that's what I'm hoping for there. And then I've got a little item as well, which I thought I'd show you guys as well,
Yeah.
which is really important to both of you guys.
Mm.
Obviously, tonight is the Battle of the Bridge.
Yeah, yeah.
We have got, which I hate to hold up, to be fair, but we've got John Terry's match-worn shirt from the Battle of the Bridge, the last one.
Really?
So this was...
no blood on it, is there?
No
Is it
blood in it,
surprise?
which, yeah, it was a bit of a rough match, wasn't it?
It probably would have been on the socks, I would imagine, that day.
But,
Wow.
Yeah, we're hoping,
Nice.
obviously, for a point tonight. Obviously, we weren't
Yeah,
last time.
we
but
are.
a
Your
point
fellow
would,
Spurs fan, Jake. That's
yeah,
right.
would save
yeah,
us
yeah.
there. But
And who's your team, Adam?
West Brom.
West Brom, okay. How you
Yeah.
feeling about life
Yeah,
as a
that's
Baggies
it.
fan?
Yeah.
Next year?
It's always next year.
It's always next
next year. That's pretty much the reaction I get when I tell most people.
Well, good to see you both.
Yeah, really good to see you too.
So, Buds, that's where you want to check out all that World Cup memorabilia. Go to their website, buds.com. And where can people find out all your
yeah,
stuff
so
online?
in terms of cards, majestigrading.com, if you want to get them verified and authenticated, same with memorabilia. And then if you're looking to buy trading cards, sports cards, it's bloomsauction.com.
Okay. Lovely to see you both. Thanks
Nice
for
one,
popping in,
mate.
and
Thanks
thanks
a
for
lot,
bringing
guys.
in the medal. That is amazing. So still to come, Jensen Button joins us. Brad Friedel pops in the studio. Susie McCabe, Celtic supporting comedian, and we'll look ahead to Tottenham-Chelsea this evening.
All right, let's talk about the big breaking news that broke last night. It's been something that everyone's been speaking about for the last 12 months, and that's that Pep Guardiola is set to leave Man City after 10 years at the job. Let's bring in our chief football correspondent, Ags Crook, to kind of open or shed a bit more light on this. Crookie, obviously, look, this is massive, massive news. It isn't a surprise as it is. We knew about it, but we didn't know when this was going to happen. Give us a bit more on it.
Yeah, I think it's the worst kept secret in football, has been for several weeks, if not months now. And that's why I'm slightly surprised, by all accounts, that Pep Guardiola has reacted quite furiously to the fact that this has been leaked 24 hours before a game that could decide Manchester City's title fate. I'll be at the Vitality tonight. If City don't win, it's Arsenal's title. If they do win, we go to the last day of the season and what is sure to be a very emotional final home game for Pep Guardiola, final game in charge of City after 10 years. Against Aston Villa. But as I say, this has been coming. I think it could well have happened earlier. There was a lot of talk about whether last season will be his last at Manchester City. He's given them one more year. It's a round number of 10. He delivered a 20th trophy, if you include the Community Shield and such like, by winning the FA Cup final at Wembley on Saturday. And who knows, there could yet be a late sting in the tail. There could yet be a treble. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't actually think Manchester City will win at Bournemouth tonight, but we shall see. But it is certainly the end of an era. What next for Manchester City? Well, that's been a fairly open secret as well. Certainly sources at Chelsea have long suspected that Enzo Maresca would be the new Manchester City manager. I understand there is an agreement in principle between Maresca and City for him to sign a 3-year contract. And he's even started to line up backroom staff. Willy Caballero, former Manchester City goalkeeper, someone that Maresca worked with before, is going to go as his number 2. So this could develop very quickly, not just Guardiola's departure, but the replacement being put in situ very quickly.
Brad Friedel joins us shortly to look ahead to Chelsea Spurs this evening, but we've got Ben Fletcher here with the sports headlines.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van range, supporting van owners to get the job done. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
Good afternoon. There's no room for Ollie McBurney in the Scotland World Cup squad despite his 17 goals for promotion chasing Hull this season. That decision by Steve Clarke has split opinion. The former Scotland assistant Mark McGee has told talkSPORT he understands it.
They want a wee bit of a mixture. Lawrence Shankland brings them something else. Ross Stewart does as well. So I think that's style as much as anything. You know, I think the boy has done everything he can to be in it, but I think he's missed out really for those reasons.
Saints striker Ross Stewart does make the plane, his first recall in 4 years. In the meantime, Scotland's elder statesman keeps his place between the sticks. Here's talkSPORT Shabana Han.
I mean, quite often, Addy, we discuss Craig Gordon, don't we, when we speak about Scotland, 43-year-old veteran goalkeeper back in the squad, all about the leadership, all about the experience. He is back in. Angus Gunn, Liam Kelly in there as well.
You can see the whole Scotland squad up at talksport.com. Next, we're hearing Enzo Maresca has agreed a 3-year contract at Manchester City, and talkSPORT understands Pep Guardiola has told his players he will be leaving the club. But what's next for him? Our chief football anchor Adrian Durham wonders if an international gig might tempt him.
Whether it's going into Brazil after Carlo Ancelotti, if it is a break he's going to have, is he going to wait a couple of years and then maybe take the England job? Would Spain interest him? He's sort of shied away from that in the past, maybe the USA job, but I suspect that international football might be his thing.
If City don't beat Bournemouth tonight, Arsenal will be Premier League champions for the first time in 22 years. We'll keep a close eye on proceedings right here on talkSPORT. Finally, with 23 days to go till the World Cup, Netherlands boss Ronald Koeman admits he's concerned Jurrien Timber won't be fit. The Gunners' right back is aiming to be back for the Champions League final. That's another game you can hear live on talkSPORT.
talkSPORT News.
Petrol's hit the highest price since the start of the Iran war, and net migration is expected to fall to the lowest level since COVID. More from Amelia at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. With over 600 centres across the UK, most of which open 7 days a week, we're always there when you need us. QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
Rain on the way out to the east, but more showers following in behind. Sunshine for many of us this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Susie McCabe, the Celtic fan and comedian, pops in to see us a bit later on. Jenson Button will be here as well, Canadian Grand Prix this weekend. He has happy memories of that from back in the day. And we'll see if we can find you a job in F1. That's one of the things we're going to be discussing with him. And we'll look ahead to Tottenham-Chelsea tonight. And we'll kick off doing that, actually, because the former Spurs, Villa and USA keeper, Brad Friedel has popped in to see us. Good afternoon, Brad.
Hey guys, how are you?
Yeah, we're good. Good. We're both. Well, I'm
both nervous. Both nervous.
Well, I'm a bit more nervous than
Andy. We always go through the same dance, pretending the other team's got much more chance than our own team of winning. But
I mean, there's more riding on it from a Tottenham point of view. Although Chelsea, with a couple of wins and results going their way, they're still in the European mix.
55.
We can only hope not.
It's already where Bournemouth are. You know, I can't see.
You don't think so? No. Okay.
I don't think so. I'll be honest, I think they'd be quite pleased not to be in Europe.
What, the Conference League, for example, or even Europa League?
Europa League, maybe, but the Conference League, they don't want that.
I mean, as a player, because Andy's making the point that a new manager, Sherry Alonso's going to come in, and it would be nice, as we've seen with Michael Carrick and other managers in the past, 1 game a week in your first year just to bed in and build on that. Is that a good thing, or do players always want to be in Europe?
I always wanted to be in Europe. Even going all the way back when what was it called, the Intertoto Cup or Intertoto?
Yeah, that's right.
Any avenue into European football, I think for players is always better. I think over the years and over the decades of the high performance departments coming in, they talk about load on players, and what I can tell you now as I sit here, 55 years of age, the load is meaningless when you're 25 years of age.
Yeah.
when you're signing for these clubs, especially coming to the Premier League, one of the reasons you come to the Premier League and to the bigger clubs is to not only get into European competition, but you should, in your competition, whether it's Champions League, Europa League, or Europa Conference, you should be one of the favourites, and you should get pretty far in the competition. I think it's a positive.
And we've seen that this year.
They did the conference thing last year. They won it, and you see Palace are in the final. I mean, basically, the way the leagues are set up in Europe, an English team should be in the final every year, really. West Ham have won it. I don't think it would do Chelsea any favours to be back in that competition, personally.
But we shall see. Now, one of the big calls tonight is in the goalkeeping position from a Tottenham point of view. Vicario, he's fit, and he fielded a couple of questions on De Zerbi yesterday, but Kinski has played very well, and I don't know if I'm speaking for all Tottenham fans, but certainly the ones of my acquaintance, we want to see Kinski stay in goal for the rest of the season. I think he's made the defence a lot calmer. He's less erratic than Vicario, who is a great shot stopper and has great moments and has pulled off brilliant saves. But I think there seems to be a bit of an understanding in the team with Kinski. I don't know what you make of it, Brad.
Kinski should start. If you're pulling Kinski out, you may as well let him go to another club after what happened at Atletico Madrid. I mean, in that game at Atletico Madrid, only one goal was down to him. One was really unlucky where he slipped. The other one was Van de Ven slipped. And obviously there was one goalkeeping mistake, but how many goalkeepers do you see make mistakes? So for him to get dragged at that time, but then come back even stronger, and he has been a calming influence. Two things have happened. Romero out of the team, Kinski in the team. Danso, I know Danso had the one mistake, I think it was Brighton. But they look a lot more solid, a lot more calm. De Zerbi's come in, more time with the team. There's no reason to drop Kinski at this moment.
I mean, they've got an astonishingly poor record at Chelsea. Everybody knows that. But Chelsea, this isn't Chelsea. They haven't won since the 4th of March. They've not won at home since January the 31st. They're coming off a cup final where they played really well, but blimey, they put a lot into the game.
Yeah.
It's 3 days later. So if Spurs can't get a result tonight, they're never going to get a result. That's the way I look at it.
I mean, they need a point.
They need a point.
Which is much better than having to go to Chelsea and need 3.
They don't want to be going into the home game against Everton needing anything. That's
correct. A point tonight, they're safe. Goal difference is too big, so that put your eggs in the basket this evening. And Chelsea, you're right, they're going to be not only physically tired but mentally tired, because when you put so much into a game and then you lose, psychologically it does something even worse for you. You feel more tired. It's like defending
the players though
instead of having the ball.
To counter that, the players would have got a boost from the announcement of Alonso.
Yeah, they'll want to show something to the new
top manager, and I think that's going to.
It depends the character of the player. I mean, players are funny these days, and that's where football hasn't changed in lots of areas, but in one of the areas it has. Is not every single player wants to die for the manager. If they don't, there's a lot of players out there that if they don't like what the manager's doing, they see how many other players they can drag along with them and bring that negativity in to help their own selves. One of the reasons why Pep Guardiola is so good is right when he sees that, you're out. And that's it. And it's ruthless. And off you go. And Sir Alex Ferguson was like that. I mean, there was no messing around. Mourinho, when he was at
I
Chelsea,
do think players though respect managers who have won stuff, who have won stuff in their playing careers as well as their managerial careers. I think I just think
Xabi Alonso looks like a good fit for Chelsea, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Yeah. And he should get respect. One of the issues that he had at Real Madrid is when he wanted to put his discipline, what was above him went with the players, and when that happens,
I think Chelsea have learnt from their mistakes. I don't think that will be happening. I think you'll find they're going to give him a chance, and I think that gives them a chance.
So, one of the other things we don't really know, and this will be true of João Pedro as well, but Conor Moani and Richarlison have both found out they're not involved in the World Cup. I mean, Conor Moani came to Spurs in the hope that he would definitely be going. Richarlison was back in the squads, and if Ancelotti doesn't put him in a squad, then nobody else will. So I wonder what their mindsets will be tonight, whether that will fire them up or whether they will sort of you'll see them kind of on the floor because they've not made it.
My opinion of it is Kolo Muani will be the same.
That's not good news.
No, well, I'm just saying, I don't think it's going to affect one way or the other.
Brad, yeah.
Richarlison, he's obviously been well noted. He's had some issues with depression and what.
Yeah, and he is a very emotional
he's
guy.
An emotional character. I could see this being a big blow to him. And sometimes players need that. And we could get a great Richarlison tonight.
Yeah.
But history tells me that might affect Richarlison a lot more than Kolo Muani.
The thing is, neither team have got any goals in them. I can't. Yeah. 0-0 seems like a real possibility to me tonight because they just,
they should shake hands before the game.
Well, I'm all for that. It just somebody throw in the towel. Let's just say quick one on the Villa because they got a big game tomorrow night. We're going to bring that to everybody on talkSPORT. We were just saying what Andy was saying to Gabby Agbonlahor earlier on. What a job that Unai Emery has done, really, this year.
Just to get to the Europa League final, playing Thursday, Sunday, but still making Champions League. That is a great achievement.
You know what's remarkable for me? And I was at the club, and we were flying pretty high with Martin O'Neill. And then shortly after I left, and a lot of us left, they were relegated. That financial hit is so hard to recover from. Just think of what this board has done. And then when Unai Emery came in, and each year he keeps building and adding onto the squad. If they can do 2 more seasons in the Champions League and they get their finances over the 500
bit of headroom
mark, then they're it's a huge club. Then they can really be fighting for maybe even the Premier League title because Aston Villa has that fan base and they have the structure of the club. So at this moment in time, football clubs, we get so much negative news. Right now, it's so nice to see. There's not a lot negative you can say about Aston Villa.
No, sure.
They had to go at his team against Tottenham.
Yeah.
7 changes. Right after that, what happens? They annihilate Nottingham Forest 4-0, and then they're 4-1 up, and they'll finish 4-2 against Liverpool. Right, and back-to-back, and now they're in the final.
I'm sure West Ham was delighted that he rested those players that day. Tremendous.
Well, they had their chance again, Palace.
He was looking at his own club. He wasn't, he was doing what he needed to do.
That's
to
what
get
they
into a
have
final.
to do. They all do.
Of course.
And USA at the World Cup. A couple of I saw Johnny Cardoso's out. They've lost a few players to injury. I mean, how are you feeling? What would be a good World Cup for the USA, Brad?
Get into the knockout rounds and then see who you get drawn against. I could see if we can finish top of the group, which would be really hard. People are saying we're in an easy group. Paraguay is going to be a hard game. I think man for man, player for player, we're better than Australia, but that doesn't mean that you're going to win the game. Turkey, man for man, player for player, is better than the U.S. when you go into it, so that's going to be a difficult game. So I think it depends where we finish in the group, and when we get to the next round, which I think we should, if you finish second or you're one of the third place teams, you're going to have a harder draw going through. Could we, if we got a nice draw, could we get to the quarterfinals? Yeah, we could, but we're still a growing footballing nation. I mean, we most kids that are still born today want to play in NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, but stadiums are better, training grounds are better. Like everything's growing, but we're still not a footballing nation. So that would be success. But Tyler Adams is a good player. Weston McKennie's a good player. Chris Richards is a really good player. Anthony Robinson's an excellent player. One of our players we need to play well is Christian Pulisic, and he's had a real difficult time recently. So we got to hope that he comes in and does something going forward. Tim Way is a good player. Balogun's had a great season, so we can cause some.
It's so funny. World Cups are so different now. You'll see that virtually every single team in the World Cup has got players that play in Europe.
And that you'll know. There's gone are the days when you get the World Cup and you think, "Wow, I've never seen him before." It was
kind of more exciting when we were growing up.
Yeah,
the difference with the U.S. team to, let's say, a Spain or an England or Germany's is that if Chris Richards is injured, if he does get it, that's a huge miss for us.
Yeah.
If Anthony Robinson can't play,
they don't have the depth.
No,
that's the thing.
With what comes in, so you mentioned Johnny. Okay, so he's out, and we have Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie. But then if Tyler Adams or Weston McKennie get injured, then it's a huge drop off.
Yeah, sure.
So now we're already asking Tyler, who has injury problems. Weston can do it, but to play every game now and every minute for us to be successful, and it's that's a big ask. Yeah.
Well, Brad, lovely to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Nice to see you as well.
Enjoy the game tonight and enjoy the World Cup if we don't see you before. And you're going to be in the How to Win the World Cup podcast with the guys, aren't you?
I am. And I'll be working with talkSPORT during the World Cup.
Oh, that's excellent. Well, that's great. Well, no doubt we will catch up with you during the
have a Yunus Musa trading card.
Look at that. It could be worth a fortune. That might bring you good luck. There we are.
Right. There any other
Brad Friedel there. Jensen Button joins us next. We'll talk a bit of F1 and how maybe you could work in the industry. And Susie McCabe will be invading the studio in that Celtic way. She's a big Celtic fan and she'll join us a little bit later on. Four-year deal for Xabi Alonso as a manager. Wanted to be the manager because he wants more control. How much control do you think he'll have?
Well, certainly more than his predecessors, Liam Rossini in particular. And obviously, as you mentioned there, Enzo Maresca was very frustrated by the end of his tenure because he had a doctor sat on the bench telling him exactly how many minutes his players could play. I don't see that being repeated under Xabi Alonso. And you're right to highlight the fact that he has been given the title of manager as opposed to head coach. That suggests that the owners are willing to hand over more control, have learned from their mistakes. In fact, speaking to sources at Stamford Bridge, they know this season has been a poor one. They said after they got rid of Liam Rossini so quickly, having appointed him, that they would do a bit of soul searching. There would be a period of reflection. And they're describing this to me as the next stage in Chelsea's evolution by, instead of appointing a rookie manager like Liam, who was going to learn on the job, who was probably always going to struggle to command the respect of what is quite a difficult dressing room to control. They've now decided to hire someone who's been there, got the T-shirt, not just as a player, but as a manager as well, with that incredible invincible season at Bayer Leverkusen. Even Alonso's record at Real Madrid is not terrible, So I think instantly he'll command the respect of that dressing room because of what he does as a player, because of what he's already achieved in management. They're going to task him with building a culture befitting of a club like Chelsea. And it was quite clear in the statement when they announced him yesterday, they want to be challenging for the top honours, and they see this as the first step in that direction. How much control will he have? Well, certainly he's going to have a bigger input in transfer decisions than the likes of Rossini and Maresca.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. The model of Chelsea, will they change that as well? Because it doesn't seem to be working, what they're trying to achieve at the moment. And Alonso might have a little bit more of an input into transfers and who they need, because look, you don't know what sort of system he's going to play. We play three at the back or whatever. And he's got to get players to suit them positions, isn't he? So I think there's going to be a hell of a clear out.
Not wig. It's a nutty canister, either way. I mean, look at the nut on it.
Bob Odenkirk! Saul was great. He was just a breath of fresh air. Amelia Clark!
Star Wars versus Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, definitely.
Go.
I'm loyal.
Don't tell
Alex Hassel!
In season 2, a lot of us get our clothes off.
You do know you did that in season 1.
Exactly, that's true, yes.
Now, a couple of years back, we spoke to a young mechanic who'd started out doing an apprenticeship, working in a sort of backstreet garage, repairing just road cars, but had a dream to work in Formula One and chased it and persevered and worked his way in. And we spoke to him when he'd moved into an F1 team, and it was quite the story. And you probably think, well, that would never happen to me. But there are opportunities in the world of F1. I suppose if you have that about you. Here to tell us more is the former F1 world champion, Jenson Button. Hi, Jenson.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, good, thanks. I mean, a lot of people probably would think it's a pipe dream, you know, if you are just sort of working as a mechanic or what, thinking, how could I ever get into that world? But maybe you're here to tell us that it isn't maybe quite as unbelievable as you think.
Well, I think, when you look at the demographic, fans of Formula One, it's definitely younger. It's definitely dropped. When I was racing, it was sort of mid-30s. Now it's 20s. But still, yeah, getting youth into motorsport is something that we need to work on. And I think, that's why the initiative with Hot Wheels and Formula One working together to produce the first ever Hot Wheels tiniest team principal,
wow,
I think is very, very cool. Because it's getting kids into the sport, whether it's wanting to be a racing driver or an engineer or a mechanic. There are so many cool jobs in Formula One, and it's just basically spreading the word and making it exciting to kids. When I grew up, I was pushing Hot Wheels around all day, living room, up the stairs to the bedroom, and that was my childhood. Kids have so many options these days, so I think their eyes aren't on motorsport as much, but we're trying to change that because this is where it all starts. It's the future of the sport.
They've been around long enough for when I used to play with them as a kid. It wasn't a Model T Ford before you say anything, but it was. It's a great thing. And if you were coming into the sport now, I read that maybe you wouldn't have come in as a driver.
No, I definitely would have come in as a driver. I don't have a skill set outside of driving. No.
Did you? I mean, did you have? Were you in awe sometimes of the team around you and what they did?
Always. That's the reason why I won a championship. It's teamwork. It's working with great people. It's also about leadership. Having a great leader that brings everyone together and makes them feel worth. And that they can maximize their abilities. So yeah, the team part, the team aspect of it is really important. And for example, my son, he's 6 now. Is he going to be a racing driver? Probably not, actually. But on the engineering side, maybe. And he was involved with the campaign as well, which has been quite fun. So you will see him on the advert on social, which would be quite cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on. Sorry.
And because of that, he's obviously he's got more into F1 than me being his dad.
Oh,
it's kind of weird, but yeah.
Yeah, well, that's amazing.
Yeah, it is the most glamorous sport, isn't it? I mean, the travel and the places you go to. I mean, of course, it's hard work and everything, but we speak to Rachel Brooks, who just wrote a new book about Formula One. It's quite a glammy lifestyle.
It is, it is glamorous, but yeah, as you say, it's also hard work. You see the glamorous side on TV, but the behind the scenes stuff, especially for the mechanics, is long hours and a lot of travel, a lot of time away from home. Yeah. But it's worth it. Formula One is in such a great place and forever growing that it's where everyone wants to be.
Quick one on Canada this weekend, a place where you have happy memories, of course. It was one of your most memorable drives, wasn't it? 2011 in the rain, front to back, or back to front, should I say? That would be very good if it was front to back.
It's not ideal. It was a great race. I finished last.
Yeah.
No, it was the longest race in history. It rained like super torrential rain, so they had to stop the race halfway through, and then they restarted it. And I crashed with Lewis Hamilton. I crashed with Fernando Alonso. Had a drive-through penalty. Puncher, broken front wing, 6 pit stops, was last twice, and then I won the race on the last lap. So yeah, kind of rememberable, that one.
Yeah, memorable. Yeah.
So we've had just finally, a couple more weeks for the teams to tweet what they're up to. There were signs in Miami that the sort of chasing pack are catching up. So how are you feeling about the rest of the season?
I do think that Mercedes still has to be the favourite, but loved that McLaren were closer, that they took the fight to them right until the end, which is good. And I think Ferrari, get Ferrari on a track that suits them a bit better. I think they'll be up there. Lewis is due a win, and he loves Montreal. So you're going to have 3 Brits fighting for the win, I think. Him, George, and Lando.
All right, excellent. Well, we look forward to it. Thank you, Jensen. All the best.
Cheers. Thank you.
Jensen Button there, former F1 champion back in 2009. And we'll keep you in touch with that one this weekend in the Canadian Grand Prix. Susie McCabe going to join us for a chat next in the studio. We'll talk a bit of Celtic, of course, winning the title. Touch on Scotland, I'm sure. She's also off to the Edinburgh Fringe. We'll chat about her show. And then we'll look in a bit more detail at Spurs, Chelsea this evening. Just a reminder, there is a watch-along with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. I can't believe Jamie has put himself in that situation, really, because he's got a lot more skin in the game than
Jason.
But
he'll be fine. And when he is fine, he's going to really wind Jason up.
Well, we'll see. Anyway, we'll look ahead of the game. Susie coming up next. Don't forget, 4 o'clock, Andy Goldstein, Darren Bentwood Drive.
Successive defeats for West Ham. Spurs 1-2, drew 1 in their last 3. Spurs need just a point from their final 2 games to secure survival. So, Martin, would it be fairly unforgivable for Spurs not to survive from here?
Oh, yeah. Look, they're in the boss seat now. De Zerbe's come in and put together some really good results, Jim. Look, I said way back, we were both sat here, one thing that we may disagree now, someone likes to disagree with me, but one thing we did agree on was that West Ham, their fixtures look much more difficult, and if Spurs could wake up, we all knew, didn't we? I mean, at one stage, it was just because it's Spurs, but this new manager's come in and made a change. So I see Spurs now as being pretty comfortable. West Ham have shot themselves in the foot yesterday because of their performance.
Yeah. I mean, I've been pretty consistent that West Ham would get relegated, primarily because there was always this powerhouse in the back of your mind that you can't countenance Spurs being relegated. So I imagine Spurs' avoiding relegation will be as certain as Arsenal winning the league now in Martin's mind, because we're able to make those observations. But the fact of the matter is that West Ham, and Martin's right, I was under the impression that he'd had a lot less games. I don't know how many league games has he, but he's been in charge of Nuno Espirito Santo. He's been in charge of West Ham for 36 games. And despite the fact, I looked at their statistics yesterday before the game. The last 15 games, they've taken 22 points. They're taking a point and a half a game. If they'd had that all season, they'd be miles away from this situation. But prior to that, I think he took some time to get into his stride.
Too long. Too long.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, I don't know how many games they had before he took in. I'll have a look in a second. But they were in chaos when he came there. They were in a mess when they came there. So could he have got them out quicker? Possibly. But you look at that side yesterday, and it's not really... Of the 2 teams between Tottenham and West Ham, the team that's been in better form, had more resilience and more about them, has been West Ham. Even when they got beat 3-0 by Brentford, there are 2 clear penalties that have subsequently been revealed as being penalties that should have been given to them. They hit the post twice, the crossbar twice. So they were in that game. Yeah. But that was the West Ham that we saw yesterday that's been at the beginning of the season that's got them in this mess, because they were poor across the board.
The Scotland World Cup squad is out. We're told the forward line is the strongest it's been in quite a while. Southampton's Ross Stewart makes the plane. No room, though, for Hull City's Ollie McBurney. Here's talkSPORT's Shabana Hearn.
I don't know if he could have done any more at Hull City this season. 5 goals in his last 10 games, 17 this season. Ross Stewart comes in, which I think a lot of people are keen on. That's a good season for him. George Hurst comes in as well.
43-year-old goalkeeper Craig Gordon keeps his place. Check out the full squad at talksport.com. Elsewhere, Pep Guardiola will leave Man City as the best manager of all time. That's the view of Neil Warnock, who says that Pep's influence is felt even at Torquay down in National League South.
Torquay try and play like Man City. He's brought things in. I mean, we haven't got the players that Man City have got, but even the smaller clubs are trying to play the way his philosophy and everything.
talkSPORT understands Pep has now told his players he's leaving. This as Enzo Maresca is said to have already agreed a 3-year deal to replace him. Simon Jordan says Maresca's a lucky man because of the condition Pep will leave the club in.
I think this season is transition, and I think he leaves Manchester City for the next incumbent an opportunity to build from it in the same way that Klopp did. Unlike Alex Ferguson, with due respect, despite the fact that Ferguson was a brilliant manager and was probably in the annals of Premier League probably the greatest manager.
Get all the latest at talksport.com.
Well, I don't think there's been so much focus on Scottish football down south for ages. Well, we had the squad today and we've all been talking about it. And, of course, we had the finale of the season at Celtic Park, that game against Hearts. Susie McCabe is a huge Celtic fan. We often talk Celtic and Scotland with her. She's joined us in the studio. Good afternoon, Susie.
Oh, lads. I've had to come to London for a break. Whoever says that? What Scottish person ever says I'm going to London for a break?
Now, you weren't there. You were just telling us.
No.
Sound reasons for that.
Yep. So the week before I'd been at the Rangers game, and on Saturday morning I just thought, do you know, I can't put my heart through that. Having had a heart attack 2 years ago, I just thought, I can't, I'm too old for this. I opened my new GTN spray against Rangers and I need to just be in the house and watch it and be able to walk about.
That was nerve-wracking enough, wasn't it?
Honestly, but it's the most Martin O'Neill fairy tale of them all, isn't it? I just love that, man.
How did you feel? Was it handball?
You do know everybody else wanted Hearts.
Yeah.
Well, that would be the case, and that's often the case, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Everyone supports the wee. You know, everyone kind of wants the wee guy. Even, don't they? They're the wee guys in comparison. So, no, I get that, but I mean, everyone's kind of forgot about the Martin story, and you know. And people go, no, it's just another title. That was not just another title after this season. That was a couple of men getting together and physically dragging a group of players and a club and a board over the line, and it was phenomenal.
Do you think he'll stay? I mean, he was kind of saying yesterday to Jim White and Simon Jordan, you know, he said he sort of, I'm not, you know, I'm getting too old and I've got the energy to do it, but I don't know.
I heard that interview and I did laugh at him saying that, and then the next minute arguing with Jim and being quite passionate about it. So I think for me, look, Martin O'Neill is the greatest manager of my lifetime, and that was before this weekend. That, you know, Martin gave me my first treble. Martin showed me a European final. I absolutely love the man. If Martin wants to stay in some capacity, let him stay. Do we think we can maybe bring in a younger manager, take the club in a different direction, whatever that may be? But Martin is a really good catch for the board to have someone there between the fans and the board, because the board haven't draped themselves in any glory this season.
I think Wilfred Nancy deserves a second chance.
I can't live through that. Never mind living through the Hearts game. I can't live through Will. Do you know, I actually think...
It's like a fever dream now, isn't it, when you think back?
Yeah.
Did it actually happen?
I know. The thing is, I was at that Hearts game in November in the absolute tipping rain. And to be fair to Nancy, he was a bit of an unlucky manager. You know, that was the type of thing where we'd go out in the first half and hit the post 4 times. You know, and they goals go in. And I think if Nancy had been given money and a pre-season and all these things, I could see what the board were trying to do to bring in a football-playing manager. But unfortunately, it was the wrong season to do that with Hearts on the up. And Rangers at that point were on the up as well, you know.
You mentioned the heart attack a couple of years ago. How much has that informed your comedy? I mean, we often hear from comedians who had Mark Steele, and everybody goes through different things in their life, and you think, yeah, that's probably a show, that.
Yep. I remember when I had the heart attack, I was due to go to a gig that evening, and I was in Bristol, and I actually sent a picture from inside the ambulance and just sent it to my agent going, suspected heart attack, smashing show coming up for next year. And my agent was just like, I cannot believe this. And I was like, it'll be a great show. So, yeah.
Has it? I mean, it's joking aside, a very scary thing to happen to you out of nowhere. So, I mean, did it affect you really badly?
Not really badly. No, I mean, Scottish people treat heart attacks like most other people treat a sprained ankle. That's, you know, I mean, there is no country in the world with the amount of defibrillators per head of population. But no, I think I basically went, you've been lucky. And it actually opens up your mind and open up your eyes to go for that.
Open up your arteries and all.
Yeah, that's a nice balloon that I've got in there. But yeah, and you go for that coffee and you go, no, I'm going to book that holiday. And you kind of realise life is very short. Life is very short, and you've got to take the good times, and you've really got to run with it.
Have you had to change diet and fundamental changes to lifestyle?
Yeah, fundamental changes to lifestyle. I mean, tomorrow I'm meeting my brother in central London for pints. So
right.
You know, I mean, there's
fundamental-ish.
Fundamental-ish. I always think, you know, there's an Irish stout that you can get that's good for you.
Yes, of course, a lot of iron in it. That's very.
You've got two shows on the go at the moment. You've got your show that you've been touring and about to come to an end, but you're performing in London. Then, of course, you've got your big Edinburgh show, which I heard you talking about, and that is about your heart attack and subsequent.
Yeah, that's about the heart attack, in which you think there's nothing worse than a heart attack. And then 6 months after that, my marriage ended. And 7 months after that, my dad died.
Wow.
And then at this point, the world, you know, Celtic sold Kyogo, never replaced them. And the world just in general. And I'm 46, so I've done a show called Coming of Rage. And it's me really looking at my life and the things that have happened and going, you know, you think a heart attack's bad. Well, that was the opening ceremony to the next section of life. But you've kind of got to laugh at the next section of life as well. You know, there's a bit in the new show where I talk about losing my dad, but I'm not actually laughing at losing my dad. It's the minutiae of death. You know, the arranging of the funeral, the discussing things, you know, me and my brother seeing each other and having a handshake. It's just, there's so much. And, you know, asking your friends to carry your dad's coffin in and them going, how heavy was that coffin? Was his wheelchair in the coffin? All the kind of minutiae, but the inappropriateness of it all. And everyone goes through that. And I think there's something lovely about being able to take something so profoundly sad in your life and saying to people, but we can still laugh.
You're going to pick up the humour.
Was he a funny man, Susie? Was he?
Yeah. He had a wicked sense of humour. Like, we did have a laugh because my mates did go, that coffin was so heavy. And genuinely, one of my mates went, my dad was a double below the knee amputee. And my mates were like, were his legs still on him? And I was just like, this is and then one of my mates just piped up and went, no, but I bet his wallet was, judging by the weight of it. And I thought, my dad would have roared laughing at that, you know, and he would have loved that. So it was and I suppose in a way for me as a performer, that's quite a cathartic unburdening of yourself, you know, and laughing and going, you know, my dad's funeral was the week I was meant to see Abba Voyage, yet again stopping my homosexuality, you know, this kind of stuff, and just having a bit of fun with it, you know.
And because your dad's not around, your mum's had to kind of get quite techie, and you've been in charge of bringing her into the modern day.
Genuinely is one of the hardest things I have ever done in my life, is taking an analogue woman into a digital world, and I'm like, so this is Sky, and you can pause it, right? So we're all the way back. In fact, we got a new phone the other week for her. She wanted a new phone, and we went back to the old Nokia 3210.
Wow.
Because you can buy it, and it's just so much easier for her. and you go, there's.
It's difficult. I mean, I have massive sympathy because if you didn't grow up with it, I was like the last generation that didn't grow up. I'm similar age to your mum, I think, and it is difficult. You know, they just asked us, we've got a new payments system that you've got to get on. I'm sitting there like trying to work out 2 devices out. I'm going,
I've just tried to get my mum onto Sky, and I've kind of wrote it all down, and it is a bit like, you know, someone trying to land a plane. You know, it feels like I'm
really
trying to land a plane. Is anybody?
And I feel as if the world has moved quicker than that generation's been ready for it. You know, because these things generally happen organically.
Yeah.
But because we're in such a kind of tech-based world, even things like banking.
Yeah,
everything.
Well, there's plenty of stuff you don't understand, I'm sure, that I wouldn't have a clue with. It's like, you know.
Yeah, but your 6-year-old kid could sit and show you no bother.
No, last week I went to buy tickets for Casey Musgraves.
Yeah, this could be good news for you.
This could be good news for you. So I go, oh, thank goodness, because the last time she was here, I only just got tickets. I had to pay over the top. So I thought, great, I've got tickets. Fantastic. I bought 2 tickets for Glasgow. No, seriously.
Listen, get up. That'll be a great get.
Yeah, I told him to go up and have a
family's family. That's as Casey Musgrave would say.
That's very good.
So, just quick one on the Scotland squad. How are you feeling about the World Cup, Susie? You're going to be out there? You're doing it all from over here? You're working? You got Edinburgh, of course.
I've got Edinburgh, of course. I was going to go out. I was looking at having 16 days over there and touring New England in between the 2 Boston games, and then America kind of lost itself in January, and I thought I'll just go to Rhodes in September after the Fringe, and the money for the tickets and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be here. I'm going to be doing some bits and bobs in the UK about the World Cup, and you know. Yeah, we are happy to be there, but do you know what? I hope the guys go and give a really good account of themselves. I mean, John McGinn, who's on the screen just now, John McGinn is just, I mean, that injury's done him the world of good.
Yeah.
It gave him that
little break,
Oh, he's such a good player.
I mean,
come back firing, isn't he? He's been great.
Absolutely, and there's so many good players in that squad that deserve to give a really good account of themselves. And you know, however far we get, we are just delighted to be there. But however far we get, let's just not embarrass ourselves and give a really good account of ourselves, and let those talented players, our McTominays and our McGinns and our Tierneys and our Robbos, go out and show the world that we can play football.
Yeah. Well, you can hear more from Susie on the How to Win the World Cup podcast, and you've still got 3 dates of the tour in London, Museum of Comedy, Belfast, Black Box Millennium Forum, and then the studio in Derry.
In Derry, the day of the cup final, where it is Martin O'Neill against Neil Lennon. If Celtic lose that final, Rangers will only be in the Europa Conference League. I mean, I'd throw it.
SusieMcCabe.com for the tickets, and the Edinburgh show, Coming of Rage, Assembly George Square Theatre. And that's 5th to the 30th at 8:45. And again, go and check it out, SusieMcCabe.com. Good to see you, Susie.
Good to
Thanks
see
for
you, lads.
popping in.
Take it easy.
It will do. We're going to turn our attention to the game that matters to myself and Andy tonight, Tottenham versus Chelsea. And then we'll hand over to Andy and Benty with Drive. We're here with Tool Station. First stop for everything from the job from 7 a.m. Monday to Saturday. Stay strong. Start it right. First stop, Tool Station.
We had this conversation in the studio, and your bags of energy, and whilst you might be a little bit drained now, you'll replenish your tank, and there's plenty left in you. Do you think you merit the opportunity? Do you think Celtic should be offering you this job? I know it's a difficult question for you to answer, but come on,
right.
You've gone in there, you've fixed their problems, and you've steadied the ship, and you've won the league for them in a season where it's been a disaster for them.
Do I think that Celtic should offer me?
Do you think you merit it?
Do I feel I've merited? Of course I have.
Did you? I know, but I'm trying to move you from the diplomatic fence-sitting position that you want to take. Did you chase Did you chase Hearts down, Martin, or did they lose their nerve and blink?
No, I don't think they lost their nerve and blinked at all. Absolutely not. What they've done over there has been fantastic. What the manager has done has been terrific, absolutely terrific. And last night he was voted Manager of the Year, quite rightly so. It was a really great effort. What we have here, I think, sometimes, Simon, in your disparagement of the league, is that we actually have some really, really fine managers, young managers who are very, very good. I'm working with some brilliant coaches who are just terrific, and I do learn an awful lot from it. Now, I understand the reason of this disparagement is because there is really no money in.
Which, by the way, you
SPS.
joined in as well before you went back there.
No, joined in what way?
In terms of making observations about the quality of the teams in the league and the quality of Rangers. So pack your nonsense in.
No, absolutely. I'm saying this, but what has happened? Sometimes when you're working at the coalface, as you often do, make real great judgments from about 14 million miles away. And
I had you next to me to be able to support those judgments before you went back to Celtic. So pack it in. So don't you dare be a hypocrite.
And then I stepped into the coalface and realized that both of us were talking bunkum.
Oh, of course.
Not wig.
It's a nutty canister, either way. I mean, look at the nut on it.
Bob Odenkirk!
Saul was great. He was just a breath of fresh air.
Amelia Clark! Star Wars versus Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, definitely.
I'm
loyal.
Don't tell me. Alex Hassel!
In season 2, a lot of us get our clothes off.
You do know you did that in season 1?
Exactly, that's true, yes.
A dull day or night when Chelsea and Tottenham meet.
João Pedro in the box! João Pedro equalises for Chelsea!
We need to win the next 2 games and get European football. That is our only focus.
It's all about potential with some of these players. They need some more leaders on the pitch, but also in the boardroom.
Positive result for Tottenham on Tuesday night. We'll see West Ham playing in the Championship next season. Newcastle 3, West Ham 1.
At the moment, I'm happy for what the players have done in my time, but we need another step.
And it finishes 1-1. Another angst-ridden, tense night at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing scared little cats out there who are afraid to get on the ball. Scared little cats who are up Stamford Bridge and get whooped.
Yes, it's Chelsea versus Spurs tonight. Not a happy hunting ground for Spurs, and that is a massive understatement. Kick-off will bring you extensive coverage from Stamford Bridge from 7. There's also a watch-along with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. I can't believe Jamie's... because it's so much more important for Jamie, and he's such a wind-up merchant, Jason. So if it doesn't go Tottenham's way, it would be... it'd be a difficult watch for me, but if you're a Chelsea fan or a fan of any other club, you'd love it. There's a live watch along the talkSPORT YouTube channel and on your smart TV, and then The boys will be back at 10:30 for the Sports Bar with a reaction to that, and of course a massive game at the Vitality between Bournemouth and City.
Yeah,
as well.
huge game. The thing is, if you remember the game at Tottenham Stadium when Chelsea could have won about 5-0, they played so well, and we were second at that point. We were playing really well.
Yeah.
If that Chelsea was playing Spurs tonight, I'd say, well, you haven't got a hope. But you know, they have fallen off a cliff. I know they played all right on Saturday and they played all right against Liverpool, but prior to that, they've been absolutely
I think for De Zerbi to admit the other day that playing in a situation like this makes you tense. You don't play with the freedom. They were able to do that against Villa because Villa sort of stood off. But we did see the other day against Leeds that they couldn't see it out for 90. My concern is that the occasion gets too much from them. I'm just reading.
They're better away from home as well.
They are better away from home.
Chelsea's home record is just so dire this year. Not won a home game since the 31st of January.
Yeah, well, I mean, blimey, we haven't won one since last December. So,
for me, it looks like, and both teams struggle to score. I mean, I've had a little fiver on 0-0. I just think it seems
well. Of course,
unlikely.
I'll happily take it being a ball draw. Jamie joined Jeff Stelling and Dean Saunders on breakfast this morning. Said he was worried that Xabi Alonso's appointment will galvanise the Chelsea players tonight.
Everyone's saying that Spurs could get relegated at Stamford Bridge, but you know what Jace was kind of saying that Chelsea could keep us up. Yeah, and I think, and I still believe that is the case. I think we can go there and get a point. I don't believe we'll win the game. We never get anything at Stamford Bridge. But them getting Alonso in, you know, it's that new manager bounce. Even though he's not there, it's the players have got to play for something. They've got to show some kind of pride, and they're playing for their futures. He'll be watching Alonso. I don't know if he's going to be there, but you know, he's going to be watching the game. So it's a massive moment for Chelsea players and their futures. And I just hope we haven't caught Chelsea at the wrong time. We caught Villa at the right time. I don't know if we're going to catch Chelsea at the wrong time now. It's one of them. Hopefully not, but I believe we can get something, Jeff.
Do you think they'll have him on the pitch tonight, Alonso? Will they do a big announcement?
He's not going to be.
He's not going to do it.
He doesn't want to get involved, and
I can understand that.
Exactly.
See the season out.
I think, you know, like a lot of these games, you know, if Chelsea score first, that could be tricky for Spurs.
Yeah.
But you know, if Spurs score first, then they'll probably try and hang on, and maybe Chelsea will batter them and get a late equaliser. I can see that sort of thing. I just don't see. I don't know where Chelsea's goals are going to come from. I just don't, you know, they really have struggled, you know, so we'll see. I don't think it's going to be a classic, will be my view.
Well, Jason's looking forward to it. He joined Ali Oladipo and Simon Jordan earlier this morning. Said he'd love to see his side get the result.
So the atmosphere, it will be crackling tonight. Spurs under the lights. I was there in 2015 when we were 2-0 down and we managed to score 2 goals, Cahill and Hazard. Scored Ben winning. That night was absolutely electric, and it's going to be the same tonight. It's Chelsea's last home game of the season, and there will be a lap of appreciation afterwards. Now, what that lap of appreciation
will they be applauded in that lap of appreciation?
Well, it depends what the result is tonight. It comes down to tonight because this is Chelsea Spurs Chelsea. This game is enormous for both, and because of the significance of what this means, I think there will be a certain amount of forgiveness.
We shouldn't forget that Bournemouth City is also a massive game, and you don't know sort of what emotional toll and physical toll the FA Cup final took out on City.
Both teams. It was a hard game for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, Pep was making the point, you know, going to Bournemouth away is tough, but they played at the weekend, and the fatigue could be there. And Bournemouth have had 10 days off. They're a really good side at home.
Yeah.
You see, I saw earlier on, Junior Krupi was approached by Portugal, but he told Roberto Martinez that he wanted to play for France. So they didn't pursue it, but he was...
Wow, he's only 19 and he's got a whole Internet World Cups ahead of him. So.
But he could have a big say tonight. Rand's going to be right up for it, having got into the Brazil squad. So it could be it, Gooners, tonight. It could be it. We'll see. I've got a feeling it might be. I thought, as I said, it might be all round of Kai Havertz. Not me, obviously, but all round to Kai Havertz's place for a big party.
Like Jamie Vardy.
So it'll all unfold tonight. As we said, kickoff's going to be right across all the goals they go in. You've got the watch along on YouTube with Jason and Jamie, and you've also got the sports part. Have your say at 10. Thanks for your company this afternoon. If you missed, we had some cracking guests, and if you missed any of those, you can pick them up on the H&J Daily podcast. But coming up next, to build up to all tonight's live football and more, talk a bit of Pep, I'm sure. Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent with Drive.
24 hours later, Mo Salah took to social media, and we know that Salah is out there very shortly. And he says, I've witnessed this club go from doubters to believers and from believers to champions. It took hard work, and I always did everything I could to help the club get there. Us crumbling to yet another defeat this season was very painful and not what our fans deserve. I want to see Liverpool go back to being the heavy metal attacking team that opponents fear and back to being a team that wins trophies. That's the football I know how to play, and that's the identity that needs to be recovered and kept for good. It can't be negotiable, and everyone that joins this club should adapt to it. Why is he doing that, do you think, Simon? I've heard this discussed in various other outlets, but let's do it ourselves. What's his motivation, do you think?
He doesn't get on very well with Arne Slot, I suspect. Doesn't agree with him. They've obviously had a fault. Nothing's changed. What do we think changed? There was no massive climb down from Salah for his outburst back in October, November, December of last year, was there? So there was only a papering over the cracks and managing of the situation. The players leaving, he's out the door. He doesn't seemingly or apparently or evidently get on with the manager.